In a culture that celebrates the weak, show your support by standing with the rebels. Go to doitfluid.com or scan the QR code on your screen. Use the code RAV20 for 20% off your order. Stand with the rebels and never back down.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Thursday edition of Just the News, No Noise. I'm your host, Amanda Head, reporting to you from the nation's capital here in Washington, D.C. My co-host and Just the News editor-in-chief, John Solomon, is out on assignment tonight, but the news just has not slowed down at all, has it? Last night, ABC Disney announced shortly after the show ended that they would be indefinitely suspending Jimmy Kimmel's show after comments that he made about the alleged assassin of Charlie Kirk. And honestly, if you were just watching CNN or MSNBC or any of the mainstream media, you would have thought that the Republic was crumbling down and burning before our very eyes. They devoted wall-to-wall coverage of this. They made a much bigger deal about this than the assassination of Charlie Kirk, for example, and claimed that this was one of the most brazen attacks on free speech that the country has ever seen, except for the one that happened last week on a college campus in Utah where Charlie Kirk was assassinated for standing up for free speech. But the media also used it as an excuse to claim once again that the right is fascist and authoritarian. All after that same rhetoric is exactly what got Charlie Kirk killed. So let me play you one of the short clips from Kimmel that got him into this whole mess in the first place, and then we're going to talk a little bit about what happened after.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it.
My goodness. So that is one of the things that he said regarding Charlie Kirk's murder. And it was, of course, a lie. The shooter is not even remotely MAGA. In fact, everything that we can tell from him that we have learned from investigators is that he was extremely left wing. But after heavy outrage from the public and broadcasters like Nexstar and Sinclair basically saying, you know what, that's it, enough is enough. Then we've got this other shot that I want to show you from Brendan Carr. Check it out.
Broadcast TV is different. We're on a cable show right now. You don't have an FCC license. You don't have an obligation to serve the public interest. Podcasts don't either. Stand-up comedians, whether they're on lots of forms of communications, don't. And Kimmel is free to do that. But if you have a broadcast TV license, that means that you have something that very few people have. And you're excluding other people from having access to that valuable public resource. And it comes with an obligation to serve the public interest.
My goodness, and that was enough for the left to cry victim once again after doing much worse to conservatives and the First Amendment for absolutely years. So remember, when the Biden administration actually worked with social media companies during COVID to silence opinions of regular Americans that they did not like on the vaccine and a whole host of other things, it's many times worse than what happened here with Kimmel and an actual attack on free speech. But worse still, Democrats and the media were applauding this when it happened to conservatives. For example, here's Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez after Tucker Carlson was fired from Fox News.
Tucker Carlson is out at Fox News. Couldn't have happened to a better guy. Deplatforming works, and it is important. And there you go. Good things can happen.
Oh, well, that's good to know. Deplatforming works and good things can happen. That was AOC, a sitting U.S. Congresswoman, praising a broadcaster for firing an employee for free speech that she just didn't like. And I'm going to do you one better. Here is Senator Chuck Schumer calling for the firing of Tucker Carlson before it happened.
Rupert Murdoch, who has admitted they were lies and said he regretted it, has a special obligation to stop Tucker Carlson from going on tonight now that he's seen how he has perverted and slimed the truth, and from letting him go on again and again and again.
And even Jimmy Kimmel himself celebrated this sort of thing that we are talking about right now. Here he is on air rejoicing after Tucker Carlson was fired.
Fox News
has severed bow ties with Tucker Carlson. After all these years, they are parting ways, which means he was fired. I mean, that's really what parting ways means. Tucker couldn't be reached for comment. He's already on a plane to Moscow to meet with his manager. But what a shock. I mean, what an absolutely delightful shock this is.
Parting ways? Well, you would know, Jimmy. You're about to find out what that legalese is coming from your higher up. So while the media spent morning to evening attempting to spin the narrative that free speech is over in the United States because of poor little Jimmy Kimmel, remember that they all, to a man, celebrated and glorified deplatforming on the right, not only saying that it wasn't an attack on free speech, but also saying it was the only way to save democracy in America. These people have absolutely no shame, and they are looking for any reason whatsoever to change the narrative from the murder of Charlie Kirk to make themselves look like the victims. Do not let them do it, please. All right, so with that said, it's time to get to our very first guest of tonight, Congressman from Indiana, Marlon Stutzman. Congressman, thanks so much for being here.
Good morning, or good afternoon, evening, Amanda. Great to be with you.
Great to have you, sir. And the media is trying to do this switcheroo. Even a congresswoman from Texas today on the House floor tried to make it happen. She tried to turn this into something that it wasn't. They're continuing to try this, but it's not working this time, is it?
No, it's not. And you know what we all need to remember, Amanda, is that this is a bit of show business. And so when all of a sudden these companies realize that there's a show or this broadcast on this late night show with Jimmy Kimmel, which I think is a bad show. I would try to watch it from time to time, and it's just a bad show. But the fact that they knew their audience wasn't going to receive it well. I find it interesting, Amanda, Brian Williams was fired for lying. You had Dan Rather, who was let go from CBS, and you have more on the left. I remember one time, of course, the Tucker Carlson situation is the one that they always like to talk about. But I remember even when the Robertsons from Duck Dynasty, they were tried to cancel them, and they were off the air for a little bit. The family said, "Fine, we're all off," rather than just Phil. Pretty soon they brought him back because he didn't do anything wrong, and they also knew that it was good for the audience because the audience liked him. And so I look at it a little bit from that perspective, and I find it ironic that they were pretty quick to just let him go, because I think they knew they had probably other opportunities and better options than what Jimmy's show was actually producing.
Yeah, absolutely. And, when you have workhorses on the right, like poor Marco Rubio, Secretary of State, acting NSA director, National Archivist, still, I believe, in charge of USAID. A lot of people are like, well, just put it, Marco Rubio can pinch hit, but you've got workhorses on the right, people like you who are willing to do the work. And I want to use this as a segue to get into the work of Congress, because you guys are already planning ahead for what's to come in this CR. In light of what happened to Charlie Kirk last week, I think that there are going to be a lot of calls for protections and maybe even investigations into groups that continue to always have some type of connection to these types of violent situations. Tell us about what's on your platter and what you're focusing on in this CR.
Yeah, well, obviously it's difficult to get any sort of budget bill past the Senate. We could get it passed in the House because we only need 51% or 50 plus 1 to pass the bill. But in the Senate, because of the 60-vote cloture rule, you have to get several Democrats to agree. And Chuck Schumer and the Democrats just won't do that. I mean, they might be able to get 1 or 2 Democrats to do it, but they just won't get there, so it won't even happen. So that's why the continuing resolution, which I think is the right move right now. In fact, you know what? It's interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see how the Democrats act through all this and handle all of this, because if they shut the government down, President Trump actually has much more authority and power when we don't pass a budget, because he's then in charge of running the government rather than Congress. And so the Democrats are in a really bad spot. They will, of course, want to increase spending. They want to, of course, increase taxes. But this is, I think, the right strategy that President Trump has asked for, is that we do an extension. If we can get the appropriations bills passed, then we can, of course, move as many of those across the finish line as possible, but it'll be difficult to pass in the Senate. But I think, one thing that's important, you mentioned Charlie Kirk's death. Some of the investigations that are going to take place and need to take place is just the deep dark web, the deep state that we have talked about a lot, and we've always been suspicious of it. And now that even Senator Grassley has announced this Arctic frost program that the Democrats had when they were in office. Mm-hmm. So I think that's the other important thing for us to be, paying a lot of attention to is this is putting our kids in a very dangerous spot. And, who are they talking to online? And the whole gaming industry and the dark spots of the web that are very dangerous for our kids. So my hope is that we're going to have a lot of conversations about security, about, there's going to be members of Congress that want to talk about more security for members of Congress and for elected officials across the country and high-profile individuals. But we need to talk about the safety and security for our kids from the information that they receive online.
Absolutely. And just touching on Arctic frost, the investigation that you were talking about, spying on over 100 conservative-leaning or GOP organizations. Congressman, I think back to Lois Lerner and the IRS scandal. And granted, after that scandal, you still were kind of hard-pressed to find Democrats who would denounce it. But there were plenty of Republicans at the time who said, we're never going to let this happen again. This can't let it happen again. And here we are.
Yeah, no, that's right. And that's why I'm so grateful for President Trump and his administration. The way that they weaponized the DOJ against President Trump, the way they went after him. I mean, he was on the receiving end of this. And honestly, Amanda, there's not too many presidential candidates on the Republican side that could actually handle it because they would have buried them financially into legal issues, and they just wouldn't have ever been able to recover. But God bless President Trump for being willing to spend the money and fight these fights. He just filed a lawsuit against NBC, and he's taken on the big media giants for the roles that they've played. And so I remember back when he started calling them fake news, and you know what? It's proven out to be true, and they just continued to push these false narratives, like we saw with Jimmy Kimmel. And the fact that the FCC chairman even had to say anything is disappointing. That Disney just didn't make that decision, because as soon as you hear that and you watch the news, you obviously know that his narrative was completely false and lying to the American people.
Right. I want to ask you, because there is an organization out there who I think is very deserving of scrutiny, and President Trump apparently agrees when it comes to Antifa and designated them a domestic terror organization. This is a group that has burned down cities, burned down police precincts, killed people, maimed people. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And Congressman, I still can't find a Democrat out there who will roundly and resoundingly denounce them. What are you hearing from Democrats when it comes to that classification?
They're still defending, this narrative that, it happens on both sides. And I'm sorry. I mean, and I'll say this just because I think it's important for those of us on the right, anybody on the right claims to be a Republican, responding in violence is absolutely the wrong thing to do. It's just not proper at all. We condemn the left. We condemn this assassin for shooting Charlie Kirk, the assassination attempt on President Trump, the shooter up in Minnesota on the Democrat state representatives that were assassinated. All of it needs to be condemned. And yet they just try to find this soft spot like, well, we need to protest peacefully. But if we remember back in 2020, they were burning cities down. I mean, if this would have been a liberal commentator that would have been assassinated instead of Charlie Kirk, I mean, who knows what would be happening in the country right now. So there is a double standard. And I just believe that we as conservatives need to continue to pursue righteousness. We need to pursue what's right in this country. And we have to call out what's wrong. And when people say the untruth, that we need to call them out out for it.
Yeah. Well, to borrow a phrase from Charlie Kirk, during the summer of love in 2020, Floydapalooza, as he used to call it, it was all fiery but mostly peaceful protests. We all remember that phrase that they used. Sir, before I let you go, I want to ask you, there is a vigil for Charlie Kirk taking place in one of Indiana's many beautiful little towns in Fort Wayne, Indiana. As I understand it, you guys have only had the RSVP open for about 48 hours and already 3,000 people, or over 3,000 people have responded.
Yeah, I mean, it's just incredible to see the outpouring of where people are at. You know, it'd be so easy for people to just want to go hide and stay safe and stay out of the public, and you know, because of what's happened in Utah. But I think the response is different, and we're seeing it obviously with TPUSA's inquiries to start chapters of over 50,000 inquiries. And here we have, you know, these vigils, prayer vigils, people of faith getting together, and just, I think they want to be together. They want to just let the world know that we are not going to be silenced, that we value our religious freedom, we value our freedom of speech. But it's inspiring, honestly, because people aren't going to be quiet. And I think that actually there's going to be so many people across this country that are going to stand up and be bold for what they believe in America, and that America is good.
I think so too, and I think for this youngest generation, seeing Charlie Kirk shot, I mean, the video unfortunately went viral 1,000 times over, and seeing that happen with their own eyes, I think has left an indelible mark on their hearts and their minds, and I hope that the response to that is spreading brush fires of freedom in this country, and it seems like they're doing that with those chapter requests. It's amazing to see, and I know a lot of them are going to be there in Indiana.
Yeah, it really is. I told my son, who was a TPUSA chapter president at Liberty University, said, Dad, this is our 9/11. And I said, well, it is. I said, but sadly, this enemy is from within our country rather than outside of our country. Both horrific incidences, but this is an enemy from within, and it's one that has to be faced and defeated.
Yeah, look, someone who is standing up for civil rights, especially for the youngest generation, someone who spoke truth to power, and someone who was a minority within his generation. That was Charlie Kirk. That was also MLK. So you think about the long-reaching effects of MLK's assassination and what he stood for, and I don't think it's too far off to say that Charlie Kirk is going to be regarded in the same way. Indiana Congressman Marlon Stutzman, always a joy to have you here tonight, sir. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks, Amanda.
Absolutely. All right, everybody, after the break, we're going to talk more about President Trump designating Antifa a terrorist organization. It's about time, isn't it? That's nice.
Hey folks, President Donald Trump's not just talking about economic turbulence, he's telling you how to protect yourself from it. The strategy President Trump is using for decades to safeguard his own wealth through every crisis is sitting right there in the IRS code. While everyone else panics about market crashes and dollar devaluation, those who understand the strategy, well, they sleep soundly. Many investors are saying gold should take a larger percentage of your portfolio because of the challenging political times ahead. They're not alone. Central banks bought 1,000 tons of gold last year. They see what's coming over the horizon. American Alternative Assets created a free guide showing you and I how to implement Trump's IRS strategy to protect your retirement. It's the same approach the wealthy use to preserve their fortunes when currencies collapse. Call 888-615-8047. That's 888-615-8047 right now for your free 2025 Wealth Protection Guide. One more time, that's 888-615-8047. Or you can go visit the site I created for myself called johnlikesgold.com. I do like gold, so johnlikesgold.com. Go check it out.
Hi, I'm Ty Pennington, here for Choice Home Warranty. They protect my home from expensive repairs, and they can do the same for you. No matter if it's your refrigerator, plumbing, or more than 20 other home systems and appliances, Choice Home Warranty has saved millions of homeowners a whole lot of money. For a low monthly fee, you get their nationwide network of trusted local technicians with plans that cover repairs and replacements done quickly and the right way.
I would recommend anyone who is listening to this to call Choice Home Warranty. It eliminates anxiety, frustration, and it saves you money.
No more headaches searching for technicians. No more budget-breaking chaos. Just a peace of mind of having Choice Home Warranty at your service. I trust Choice Home Warranty with my home, and you should too.
Don't let an appliance or home system break the bank, leaving you stressed. Call Choice Home Warranty before that happens and get your first month free. Plus, call in the next 5 minutes and we'll give you free limited roof leak coverage. That's a $70 value, free. Just call now. Call 800-359-5664.
We've been a Choice Home Warranty customer for almost 9 years.
And we couldn't be more happy with their service that we get from Choice Home Warranty.
Year after year, Choice Home Warranty is recognized as the nation's top home warranty and has thousands of 5-star reviews from real homeowners. Experience real budget protection and call Choice Home Warranty now.
Stop throwing money down the toilet chasing contractors. Call Choice Home Warranty now and save big with their special offer of your first month free and free limited roof coverage. Don't wait another minute. Call now.
Call Choice Home Warranty for your free personalized quote and to get your first month free. Call in the next 5 minutes, and as our special offer, you'll receive free limited roof coverage. That's over $100 in savings. This offer won't last long. Call now to lock in your rate and save big. Call 800-359-5664. 800-359-5664.
Welcome back to Just the News, No Noise. President Trump is finally officially going after a major source of all of the rioting and political violence taking place in this country, and that has been for the last several years, announcing yesterday that he is designating Antifa a terrorist organization. And we also found out yesterday that the Department of Justice under Joe Biden was investigating almost 100 Republican-aligned groups after the 2020 election, including, of course, Turning Point USA in a probe called Arctic Frost. So joining me now to discuss both of those things is FBI whistleblower Marcus Allen, returning to the show. Marcus, thanks so much for being here.
Hey, thanks for having me on. Good evening.
Good evening. All right, I want to talk about Arctic Frost because this took place. I mean, technically, it was under it was the time that you were at the FBI. This was obviously not a part of your purview, but when you hear that something like this was going on, are you surprised?
No, I'm not really that surprised at all. As a former professional there, working under the domestic terrorism program and the international terrorism program, it really doesn't shock me based on the conference calls that I was a party to while I worked there, and just some of the ideology that's prevalent within the walls of the organization. Mm-hmm. We always want to look for criminal activity or some kind of crime of violence or action when it comes to ideologies, but it was obviously there is a left-leaning flavor to terrorism world in the Bureau.
Yeah, well, and we know that threshold for investigation became quite flexible under the Biden administration. I want to ask you, though, because, I have consistently held that most FBI agents are like you. Most FBI agents they care about this country, they are patriots, and they want to do what is best for the safety of this nation. But I think about the scope of an investigation that wraps up at least 100 or up to 100 organizations. How many agents would it take to investigate this many organizations?
I mean, up to 100 organizations. This is kind of like it would be a primary focus for a lot of the field offices. And so what the SSAs and those individual task forces would be doing, they would know that these organizations would be a priority. And then if they're conducting their jobs honestly, what they're going to be looking for is any kind of, act of violence, allegation of actual criminal activity, more so than the actual ideology.
Yeah. Marcus, I want to ask you because, John and I, over and over and over again, we commend you and honor you for your courage in speaking out. You and a whole host of other whistleblowers, specifically from the FBI. Do you anticipate that even though the FBI is now under Kash Patel, but maybe because it is now under Kash Patel, that others might feel a little bit more at liberty and feel a little bit safer in speaking out about things that they saw under Chris Wray's tenure?
Yeah, it would definitely be helpful if we had more whistleblowers come forward and speak out against what they're seeing internally. I know I was privy to conference calls where, if it was something happening on the left, it was kind of poo-pooed, but if it was on the right side, it seemed like it got more attention, which was irksome, obviously. But the thing we always look for is criminal activity. The issue with, the targeting in an operation like Arctic Frost is now you're tasking assets, you're tasking sources to go out and try to find things going on with these organizations. So you're applying a little bit more pressure in the sense of you're looking into these organizations where there might not actually be an allegation of criminal activity. So your predicate for even looking into these organizations in the first place is not even there. So that's a major issue to be concerned with.
Yeah, do you think that culture has changed? I mean, I think it has changed at the top, obviously, with Kash Patel and Dan Bongino, but that's a culture that can spread throughout an entire organization pretty quickly.
Yeah, I really think it depends. I think a lot of folks there, unfortunately, they just look at what's coming, straight at them on their computer screen, and they just put their heads down and they try to focus on what their task directly in front of them is. And unfortunately, it's like administrations come and administrations go. So it really depends on who's in charge at the top as far as what direction the organization is going to go. So if someone wicked is in charge, then obviously more wicked things are going to occur. And if someone good is in charge, then they're going to do things that are generally more good. The issue to me is the people who just put their head down and go along to get along so they can keep their paychecks coming in. Yeah. So in that regard, I think it's very difficult to change the culture there when people know that, every 4 years, the flavor is going to change.
Yeah, I think that's a really astute observation. And I want to ask you, because of your experience in the terrorism field at the FBI, I want to ask you about the designation of Antifa as a terrorist organization. We saw what they did in the Summer of Love back in 2020 following George Floyd riots. And even before that, burning down cities, burning down police precincts. President Trump was sent to a bunker because of their activity just across the street from the White House. When it comes to, because I know President Trump has spoken to Attorney General Pam Bondi about possibly bringing RICO charges against some of these organizations because of that pyramid structure of them and obviously their donors at the top. Do you think that is a smart way to go?
Yeah, I definitely do think that can be productive. With designating them an actual terrorist group, I'm more familiar with that on the international terrorism side with the Immigration and Nationality Act, Section 219. I think there could be potential pay dirt here because Antifa did originally start in Europe. So if they could find some way to internationally connect them with groups in Europe, I think it'll go a long way in helping them to actually designate the organization as a terrorist organization if they can establish that international tie, and then they can get more focus on them. And obviously you want to go towards the funding. Like during the Summer of Love, we had pallets of bricks showing up and nobody knew where these pallets of bricks were showing up on the edge of towns across the nation. It was like a big mystery, which was shocking to a lot of us internally as to why are we not investigating this? Like, why are we not trying to figure out where these pallets of bricks are coming from that these rioters are then using against police officers or to destroy property?
Did we ever look into that, by the way, the pallets of bricks? I mean, I feel like it feels like everything is under surveillance these days. That seems like some pretty low-hanging fruit.
Right, yeah, that seems like a layup, right? It should be pretty easy to figure out, like, where are these pallets of bricks coming from? So it's kind of one of those issues of, like, if you don't investigate, it doesn't mean that a crime didn't occur. It just means that your organization, for whatever reason, chose not to investigate it. Yeah. So it's like, you talk about sins of commission and sins of omission. Like, why did we not try to run to ground those types of activities that were occurring?
Yeah, it's also unfortunate. So when it comes to that pyramid structure that we talked about with the funding at the top, constitutionally, can we go after someone like George Soros or Open Societies Foundation if they are offshore, if they're not based here in the U.S.? What do we do?
Right. I mean, if you can identify the organizations, identify the personnel and what their stated policy goals are and where that money is, like follow the money, where the money is actually going and what it's being used for, then that's something that could be potentially investigated for criminal activity. But obviously you'll have to have your investigators focused on that, smoking that out, and then literally having, the presentations and the data to back up, they spent $1 million on X, and this is where the money went and the type of activities that it went to. So they're going to have to, the organization is big enough that if they wanted to focus on those outfits, they could do so intensely. It's just a matter of, are the personnel in the organization, under direct orders, going to follow through as long as they're an allegation of criminal activity, which in this case, that's what they're trying to allege.
Right. So when it comes to designating Antifa a terrorist organization, what is the benefit of that as far as law enforcement and investigative purposes?
Right. So it's gonna signal internally to the personnel, and then it should also receive more funding, so that more investigative assets are tasked towards that particular problem. So like with the ranking structure of investigations, if something's ranked low, then it's not going to get a lot of resources aimed at it. It's not going to get a lot of investigators. It's not going to get a lot of money and other assets coming to bear on that problem. So if it becomes more of a problem, then naturally you're going to have more of your investigative focus at the field office level structured towards that, as well as the funding that the Bureau gets in its budget geared towards that as well. So there is some benefit to it.
Yeah, that's good to know. Good to know. FBI whistleblower and hero Marcus Allen, thanks so much for being with us tonight.
Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, everybody. After the break, we're going to talk about the upcoming Boot Camp for Patriots event put on by AMAC. And one of the headline speakers is my co-host here on this show, John Solomon. So we're going to tell you how you can go in person after this break.
Hello, friends. John Solomon here from Just the News. In a time when trust in Washington is at an all-time low, more Americans are stepping up and getting involved, and AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens, is helping lead that effort. AMAC is the conservative alternative to AARP, and they're focused on protecting the values that built this country: faith, family, freedom, and personal responsibility, things you and I believe in. As a member, you'll receive exclusive discounts on travel, insurance, and healthcare services. You also get access to trusted tools and resources, plus a subscription to the AMAC magazine, one of my favorites, packed with information you can actually use. And here's the best part. When you choose a 5-year membership like I did, you'll save up to 33%. That's just over $1 a month. A small investment to help hold Washington accountable and support a movement of patriots committed to preserving America's future. Join millions of fellow patriots like myself. Visit amac.us/justnews and become a member today.
It's just like our new house. I hope you have an American Home Shield warranty. Leaky toilet? Fixed. Oven beyond repair? If AHS can't fix your covered item, they'll replace it, no matter its age. Sign up today at ahs.com.
Thinking about long-term care? Think AMAC. Rosemark Advisors, the financial division of AMAC, specializes in alternative solutions for long-term care planning. We help AMAC members prepare for future healthcare needs without compromising their retirement goals or financial security. But that's not all AMAC has to offer. AMAC is America's leading conservative advocacy and benefits organization. So when it comes to long-term care and so much more, think AMAC.
We realize there are many choices when it comes to who you choose for your cell phone service, and there are new ones popping up all the time. But here's the truth. There's only one that boldly stands in the gap for every American that believes that freedom is worth fighting for. And that's Patriot Mobile. For more than 12 years, Patriot Mobile has been on the front lines, fighting for our God-given rights and freedoms, while also providing exceptional nationwide cell phone service with access to all 3 of the main networks. Don't just take our word for it. Ask the hundreds of thousands of Americans who've made the switch and are now supporting causes they believe in, simply by joining Patriot Mobile. Switching is easier than ever. Activate in minutes from the comfort of your own home. Keep your number, keep your phone, or upgrade. Patriot Mobile's all U.S.-based support team is standing by to take care of you. Call 972-PATRIOT today or go to patriotmobile.com/TrumpUK. Use promo code TrumpUK for a free month of service. That's patriotmobile.com/TrumpUK or call 972-PATRIOT and make the switch today.
Did you know that thousands of authors across the country have written books and published them with Page Publishing? If you've written a book, Page Publishing can help you through the process. We cut through the confusion of the publishing world to make it easy for you.
Call or scan for your free writer's guide today.
Welcome back, everybody. Next Saturday, September 27th at 12 Eastern, Boot Camp for Patriots is going to take place, where our very own John Solomon is going to be one of the key speakers. Joining me now to discuss that is AMAC's Chief Technology Officer, Dave Kaine. Dave, welcome back. Great to see you.
Thank you, Amanda. It's great to be back. Thank you so much for having me.
Happy to. And I'm excited to talk about this. So tell us, what is Boot Camp for Patriots?
So Boot Camp for Patriots is an idea that AMAC came up with because we felt that with mainstream media being what it is today, and we all know what that is, that's why a lot of us tune into your show and John's show and all the other great hosts on RAV, where you're not getting the true story. You get this rhetoric, and it's like almost synchronized across the networks. We felt we needed to start a grassroots program where we go into the neighborhoods and we explain to people what the real truth is. And that's what we speak. Just like RAV, AMAC speaks the truth, and we get panels on things like immigration, election integrity, the woke ideology in schools, where, especially in Virginia, where they have males can restrooms where females are a girls' restroom. I think 5 school districts in Northern Virginia just recently doubled down on that, allowing them to be in it. So we teach people from the community how to get involved, because a lot of people, Amanda, I'm just one person. What could I possibly do? Well, there's a lot of one-person people that have done a lot, such as Charlie Kirk. And Charlie was due to speak at our event, and unfortunately, we all know what happened there. And so we're doubling down. We're not going to cancel the event. There is some concerns across the board of security for everyone that's in this space, where you're a media personality and you want to speak the truth, and someone doesn't like your message. So rather than just debate you like Charlie was a fan of, they just want to eradicate you. So we're teaching normal people that don't otherwise have the time or the wherewithal to go through all this and sift through it all. We bring them in. We have a 4-hour event, bunch of great speakers, panels, and things like that, and try to educate them, learn how to become a poll watcher, learn how to how to run for your school board and make a difference in your child's school.
I think that's fantastic. And honestly, it makes me sick to death. I worry so much about people like you, like John Solomon, high-profile people in the conservative movement who, quite frankly, have targets on their back. And I lose sleep over it, because I worry that there are more Tyler Robinsons out there who have just absolutely lost their minds with hatred. And let's face it, I mean, it's driven by the rhetoric of the left. But when it comes to that void that Charlie Kirk leaves behind, I know that you guys are working very, very hard and diligently to do a lot of the things that Charlie Kirk talked about. When it comes to getting involved, obviously you talked about the poll watching and even running for school board or city council or things like that. Do you provide people with the steps to do that, like filling out the paperwork, all of the logistics of actually making that happen?
That's absolutely correct. And our 501c3 AMAC Action also has a program where if you're really interested in becoming and making a difference, you can become an AMAC delegate or ambassador, and we take you and we give you the tools and teach you how to hold chapter meetings and how to get organized within your community, where take that one person and now all of a sudden you have a group of 12 to 20 people that are out there speaking. So we definitely give you the tools and the know-how to make a difference in your community. And that's what we're really trying to do. So when we go to Virginia, we've held them in Florida, Bucks County, Pennsylvania, held them right here in Long Island, New York, and Ronkonkoma, which was a great event. And we focus on what's important for that local area, because that's what really matters. And if we can take it to each state and one state at a time, focus on what's important there. I mean, let's face it, election integrity is important all over the United States, but in some states it's of particular importance. You have the ERIC voting systems as opposed to the SAVE Act. So we do a lot of education on that. So people, because the normal person doesn't even know what the SAVE Act is. We tend to live in a bubble, you, I, myself, John, and everyone, because this is what we do, and we're passionate about it. Most people, they come home, they turn on a half hour of news. Depending on where you get it from, you're not getting the real story. We're trying to go out into local communities and give the real story, teach people how to get involved. And it's great. And John Solomon, as you said on your earlier block, he's going to be one of the speakers. He's one of our headliners. Him and Rebecca, our CEO, Rebecca Weber, they co-host the show. And John's been doing every single one of them. And he does such a great job. And we're really appreciative of Rav and all of you. We have several Rav hosts. We have Ben Berquam, who's going to be on the immigration panel. We have David Brody showing up. We have so many Rav hosts coming. We have such a great relationship with you guys, and it's a fun time. To quote John Solomon, this is a lot of fun. That guy says that all the time. So it's going to be a fun day.
He somehow manages to make things that can be quite stressful very fun, and he's
a calming influence for sure.
He is indeed. And you know what? And Rebecca Weber is great. I mean, they are a dynamic duo when they host together. So I'm so excited that they are reuniting for this. Tell everybody about the logistics of this. Where is it? How do they get tickets? All that good stuff.
So it's at Patrick Henry College a week from Saturday, September 27th, from 12 to 4 p.m. Doors will open at 11:30, and tickets can be purchased at amac.us/bootcamp. Come on down. It's going to be a great time. Collaborate with people like-minded and learn how to make a difference in your community and overall United States.
I love it. Dave, before I let you go, as we are heading into next year in just a few months, I can't believe we're rolling up on, it's fall basically.
Flew by.
As we head into next year, which is a midterm year, when you look at all of the issues facing this country right now, when it comes to that midterm, retaining the majority, making sure the elections are clean, what do you see as the biggest pressing issue that you want to talk about at all of these boot camps? Because like you said, this affects the entire country.
Well, I think the biggest issue as far as the midterms, we actually coined the phrase for this particular one is march towards the midterms. I think the most important thing for midterms is election integrity. We've all seen from previous elections that there's a lot of nefarious things going on where you have phantom voters, dead voters, ballots being thrown away, full boxes of ballots tossed in the trash, things like that. So I think that's the most pressing issue for the midterms. And there's a lot of key battles, as you know, Amanda, in this next race, where if we lose the House and or the Senate, the final 2 years of Donald Trump's term is going to be what they like to call a lame duck. And I pray to God that does not happen, because we're making some moves in the right direction. Some on the left might retort that point of mine, but I feel we're going in the right direction. So that to me is the most important thing, especially for Virginia voters, is the election integrity front.
Absolutely. And look, I know it's traditionally low turnout for the midterms, but he's exactly right, guys. If you want President Trump to be able to continue trucking down this road with his agenda, if Republicans don't keep the majority next November, it ain't going to happen. So thank you for those words of wisdom. Dave Kaine from AMAC, thanks so much for joining us tonight. And remember, everybody, Boot Camp for Patriots is going to be Saturday, September 27th. Make sure to tune in or get your tickets to be there live by going to amac.us/bootcamp. All right, everybody, we're going to take a very quick break, and we'll be back on the other side.
Hey there. Hey. Hey there, how are you? I'm with Disabled American Veterans. I was wondering if you had a quick minute to thank America's veterans for their service and sacrifices.
Of course, why not?
Oh, sure. Absolutely. Sure.
All right. Hey, well, come on in here. I'm just going to hit record on this.
I would like to thank you from the bottom of my heart. I can't even think of the words to say of how grateful I am.
I just want to tell you guys how much you appreciate it.
But most importantly, I want to thank you for your courage and bravery.
Wow. Just thank you.
Someone here who'd like to say something to you.
Oh my gosh, you guys are awesome.
Someone has something they want to say to you.
Goodness, how's it going?
Oh. So I just want to let you know how much you appreciate it. How much you appreciate it.
I just feel honored for everything you've done.
Thank you for myself. Thank you for everybody.
I get to live every day, in peace because of you.
A lot of people thank us, but we want to take the time to thank you, honestly, for giving back. And when you give to DAV, you are supporting veterans like Dave, myself. So thank you so much for your.
Thank you. You guys are amazing. Thank you. Thank you.
You can say thank you to our nation's heroes by calling the number on your screen right now and giving your monthly support of only $19.
Say thank you by going to helpdav.org right now and give just $19 a month. When you do, we'll send you this DAV t-shirt as a thank you and a reminder that you support those who serve.
Please call or go online to helpdav.org right now. Your support says thank you to our nation's disabled American veterans.
Welcome back, everybody. The tragic assassination of Charlie Kirk has not only shaken the conservative movement, but also reignited questions about the role of social media in fueling division. Because of all this, after all of this, Utah's Governor Spencer Cox, he is urging Americans to step back from toxic platforms. So joining me now to talk about all of this is Senior Research Associate at the Center for Technology and the Human Person at the Heritage Foundation, Daniel Cochrane. Daniel, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Oh boy, Daniel. So I used to have an addiction to solitaire on my phone, and it's because I tried to stay off social media because it was toxic. And then going into last year's election, I got back on social media because I felt like it was important. And now I feel like I should go back to solitaire because everything I see on social media is about this hateful person on the left saying something violent and wicked, this person getting fired from their job because they said something on social media that was violent and wicked. And it's just this vicious cycle. And quite frankly, it's boiling my blood. And maybe that's not good for me.
Well, I think it's not. It's terrible for you, and it's terrible for every other American. And I think what's really important to underscore is that this isn't an accident. The fact that you see the most divisive, hateful, violent content on a daily basis on social media is because the companies that run it designed it that way. They make money when you keep scrolling, when your eyes are fixed on their apps. And they know from studying your brain that violent content keeps you scrolling. So as long as they make money, they're going to continue to show you that content. But I think as Governor Cox underscored, and as the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, underscored, this is really bad for our rhetoric, especially during national times of crisis, and especially in the aftermath of the horrific events of just about a week ago. We need to take a very different path and hold these companies accountable for the content and the way that they're designing their algorithms and their products.
Yeah. But Daniel, here's the thing, and I'm going to be very, very candid here. As I walk around town and I look at my fellow human, and I know what the demographics are in Washington, D.C., and I can't help but feel a certain way about the people that I am surrounded by, the people who I'm sure are tweeting all of the things that I'm seeing on social media, who feel exactly the same way as some of these posts that we have seen. And I just keep thinking to myself, how do we coexist with these people? And how do we change their mind? And it's more than a mind problem, it's a heart problem. And how do we get that deep in them that we can reverse that?
Yeah, well, I think that one of the pernicious effects of social media is its tendency to foster echo chambers. So essentially surrounding you with the content and the people and the views that the algorithm predicts you're most likely to agree with and engage with, or the content that's most likely to make you angry. But the problem is those echo chambers create false perceptions of reality. And look, we're still very early in the investigation and indeed the case against the assassin. So I don't want to speak prematurely, but what we do know so far is that it appears he was heavily involved online. He had logged over 2,000 hours on Steam. He appears to have confessed the murder on Discord, and one of his high school colleagues called him a Reddit kid, someone who was perpetually online. And folks have underscored, and I want to underscore here, how being perpetually online and enmeshed in these social media and gaming platforms, they can disconnect you from reality, and they can cause you to think in ways that are unnatural and really probably wouldn't happen apart from the platforms and the communities that they make possible. So here's what I'm saying. I'm not arguing for censorship, but I am arguing for these companies to be held accountable for how they design these platforms, and the fact that only a handful of companies have a monopoly on the control and the flow of our information. That's why every time we have a violent incident, these companies get to decide unilaterally whether we see it or whether we don't. And oftentimes there's bias in that. You know, when something happens to conservatives, or when it concerns a conservative figure, we often see censorship. But when it happens to a left-wing figure, we often see all kinds of changes to the algorithms and the content in order to favor the left side of the aisle. Most of these companies companies have policies on their platform that prohibit violent content, and I think we need to start asking, are they enforcing those policies consistently on both the left and the right? And I think Silicon Valley's bias is cause for concern here, because we know overwhelmingly these companies are left-leaning, and overwhelmingly they're partial when they enforce these policies, right, and they determine what content we see online.
Yeah, Daniel, I want to ask you one thing before I let you go. With Jimmy Kimmel being yanked off the air, I'm seeing a lot of people saying, oh, what happened to free speech in the United States? But I wasn't aware that there was a clause under the First Amendment that talks about libel, slander, and just flat out lying that's included in protections under the First Amendment. Am I wrong?
Well, look, I think that these public television stations have a duty to operate in the public interest, and if they're not operating in the public interest, they can have their licenses revoked, and that's indeed what the FCC chairman talked about, and I think it's justified to look into taking those measures when institutions of power, especially that have centralized control of our information spaces, abuse public trust. I think it's warranted, and we need to look at doing that more.
Yeah, absolutely. And it sends a message, I think, that a lot of folks last night, when they saw that Jimmy Kimmel has been taken off the air until further notice, they thought to themselves, you know what, he's been spewing this type of stuff for a long time, and that cannot be in the public interest. I don't know how you twist it to make that true. But Daniel Cochrane, always a joy having you here. Thank you so much for being here tonight.
Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, everybody. Next, George Soros is getting called out. We're going to tell you why. Next.
Hey folks, if you're a homeowner like me, you need to listen to this. In today's AI and cyber world, scammers are stealing home titles and your equity is their target. Here's how it works. Criminals forge your signature on one document, use a fake notary stamp, pay a small fee with your county, and boom, just like that, your home title has been transferred out of your name. And that's when the problems begin, because they start taking out loans using your equity and even sell your property. And you're not even going to find out it's happened until you get a collection or foreclosure notice months later. That's a nightmare, right? So when's the last time you checked on your home title? Well, if you're like me, the answer is never, right? You need to do something about that right now. That's why I've partnered with Home Title Lock, so you can find out today if you're already a victim. Use my promo code JTN at HometitleLock.com, and you'll get a free title history report and a free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection. That's 24/7 monitoring of your title, urgent alerts to any changes that might happen, and if fraud does happen, they'll spend up to $1 million to fix it. That's a good deal. Find out why I trust Home Title Lock. Go to HometitleLock.com and use the promo code JTN. That's HometitleLock.com, promo code JTN.
Stay tuned to get a free month of home warranty protection. Tired of searching for contractors when your home appliances and systems break down, only to leave you stuck with a huge repair bill and shoddy repairs? Plumbing, heating, air conditioning, and appliance breakdowns could cost thousands.
Hi, Tanya Nyack here for Choice Home Warranty. They protect my home from expensive repairs, and they can do the same for you. No matter if it's your refrigerator, air conditioning, or more than 20 other home systems and appliances, Choice Home Warranty has saved millions of homeowners a whole lot of money. For a low monthly fee, you get their nationwide network of trusted technicians with plans to cover repairs and replacements done quickly and the right way.
It eliminates anxiety, frustration, and it saves you money. I recommend using Choice Home Warranty.
Don't let an appliance or home system break the bank, leaving you stressed. Call Choice Home Warranty before that happens and get your first month free. Plus, call in the next 5 minutes and we'll give you free limited roof leak coverage. That's a $70 value, free. Just call now.
No more headaches searching for technicians. No more huge repair bills. Just the peace of mind of having Choice Home Warranty at your service. I trust Choice Home Warranty with my home, and you should too.
Year after year, Choice Home Warranty is recognized as the nation's top home warranty and has thousands of 5-star reviews from real homeowners. Experience real budget protection and call Choice Home Warranty now.
Stop flushing money down the toilet on expensive repairs. Call Choice Home Warranty now and save big with their special offer of your first month free. Don't wait another minute. Call now.
Call Choice Home Warranty for your free personalized quote and to get your first month free. Call in the next 5 minutes, and as our special offer, you'll receive free limited roof coverage. That's over $100 in savings. This offer won't last long. Call now to lock in your rate and save big. Call 800-495-1163. 800-495-1163.
Welcome back to our final segment of the night. Following the assassination of Charlie Kirk, the Trump administration is trying to buckle down on radical leftist groups who foment violence and rioting. For example, as we talked about earlier in the show, President Trump's announcement of designating Antifa as a domestic terrorist group and investigating anyone who is funding these organizations. And one alleged connection to all of the protests that we've seen throughout the country in recent years is billionaire George Soros and his reported funding through his Open Societies Foundation. And now one watchdog group is calling him out on it. Joining me now is the chairman of that group, the National Legal and Policy Center, Peter Flaherty. Peter, thanks so much for being here.
Hi, Amanda.
All right, tell us what you guys are doing, because I think that there are millions of Americans who are ready to just shut it down.
Well, I don't know about shutting it down, but last week we sent a letter to Alex Soros, who chairs the Soros Foundation. Daddy Soros put his son in charge of it a couple of years ago. And we made a very simple request that the Open Society Foundations, so-called, end their financial support for two groups in particular, Indivisible and Move On. These are the primary organizers of these nationwide campaigns. We've seen the messaging from both the organizers and the participants is always that Trump is a fascist, he's a Hitler, his supporters are extremists and white supremacists. And this kind of messaging has been persistent. And we've seen it in their so-called No Kings protest days, and we've seen it during the Tesla takedown protests, which was accompanied by all the violence, the arson, the vandalism of Teslas, and so forth. So the point I would make to Alex Soros is, if you don't want the federal government pouring over your books, why don't you do the socially responsible thing and end support for these two groups?
Is there a way that we can legally kick their influence out of the country?
Well, the president can do some things that he's not done yet. One of them is to appoint an effective commissioner of the IRS. He appointed a former congressman named Billy Long. He lasted 2 months. The post is presently vacant. The tax-exempt division of the IRS, which has oversight of groups like Soros's foundation, is largely ineffective. There's no revenue in it, usually, for the IRS, so it's been neglected over the years. The last effective head of the tax-exempt division we had was Lois Lerner, and she was effective for all the wrong reasons. Yeah. President Trump should appoint an IRS commissioner who's committed to even-handed application of the law. We believe that there are many, many violations of the tax-exempt status of the groups that George Soros is funding.
Yeah. I mean, look, I get that it's not a revenue earner for the United States of America, but I would categorize this under national security, and I think that national security is pretty valuable, whether it's in dollars and cents or human lives.
Well, that's right. And look at how this spending is tearing our country apart. The Charlie Kirk assassination apparently had no impact on Indivisible or Move On. In fact, they're doubling down. They've planned yet another national day of protest. It'll be number 11 for October 18th. And if you look at their press releases and emails over the last few days, they haven't tempered their message at all. So but we can all, as Americans, demand that Soros act like a citizen and do the decent and socially responsible thing and stop funding this division and madness.
Yeah. For years and years, I was watching the multiple seasons that Leah Remini did about Scientology, and she talked ad nauseum about the impact that taking away their tax-exempt status, the effect that would have. I imagine it's the same thing with this. I mean, it would ultimately, it would go a long way in destroying them, right?
Well, look at all these tax-exempt groups that are taking part in operations to tip off illegal aliens to impending raids by ICE. There's no way you can argue that that's a tax-exempt activity, and it's being done in many parts of the country, but particularly in LA, where they even have a coalition of 24 tax-exempt groups who are part of this network to alert illegal aliens to law enforcement actions.
Unbelievable. I mean, God, it feels so criminal. Just unbelievable. Chairman of the National Legal and Policy Center, Peter Flaherty. Always a pleasure having you here, sir. Thank you so much for this, and thank you for the good work that your organization is doing.
You bet, Amanda. Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, everybody. That's going to do it for us tonight. But tomorrow night, I will be back here, and I'm going to wrap up the show solo without my esteemed co-host, John Solomon. But he's going to be back right there in that chair next to me on Monday. So tune in again tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Eastern, and we will see you then. Bye.
Hi, I'm Dr. Ron Paul. Something shocking is happening with gold that the mainstream media won't report. Paper contracts for gold rarely result in physical delivery. But today, billionaires and major banks are demanding actual gold bars at 10 times the normal rate. Why the panic for physical gold? These institutional giants understand our $37 trillion debt means we're on a path to currency collapse. The good news, you can make the same move. A gold IRA from my trusted friends at Birch Gold Group lets you move your IRA or 401k into gold. To learn more, click below to get a free info kit on gold. Throughout history, gold has endured where currencies failed. Right now, the biggest players in the finance industry are proving this time won't be different. Click below for your free info kit from Birch Gold and diversify your savings now.
How does the world's most trusted dog expert keep his own dog so healthy?
Hi, I am Cesar Milan. In my 20 years rehabilitating dogs, I've seen too many struggle with health problems that no amount of training could fix. Then I discovered it wasn't the dog, it was their food. Fortunately, I found veterinarian Dr. Marty's Anti-Kibble Breakthrough.
Nature's Blend is packed with whole foods that are freeze-dried, locking in nutrients.
I saw remarkable improvements in my dogs within weeks.
Try Dr. Marty risk-free for 90 days. Plus, get a free gift when you call or visit drmartypets.com/Caesar.
Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Stinchfield. This is the view I wanted everyone to see. Quite frankly, it's a feather in our cap. That is Jimmy Kimmel getting into his, well, what looks like a pickup truck to be taken from his studios. He is off air indefinitely. Now, will this be permanent? One can only tell. My assumption is it may be. This may be the final straw for ABC, the excuse they needed to fail and fire this failed ratings disaster of Jimmy Kimmel, who all he did was go after conservatives. What sent him over the edge and networks over the edge to send him packing? It was when he lied about who killed Charlie Kirk, claiming it was MAGA.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it.
Well, quite frankly, it was despicable comments. And the problem with them is he knew it was a lie. That's what's so bad and so maddening about this. It was irresponsible. No doubt it was disrespectful. And yet, Democrats, so disappointing through this process. They are beside themselves, like Chuck Schumer.
Trump and his allies seem to want to shut down speech that they don't like to hear. That is not what democracies do. That is what autocracies do. And it doesn't matter whether you agree with Kimmel or not. He has the right to free speech. And so it is just outrageous. It is indicative of autocracy. And I am just outraged by it. Again, this is what dictators do. This is what Xi would do. This is what Putin would do.
Oh, shut him up. This is not about free speech. All of us that broadcast on any network have clauses in our contracts that we have to be held to a higher standard. And networks have the right to fire us if we do something deceitful, devious, or lie to the people. That would be a disruption and breaking our contract. Free speech is about being able to say something and not go to jail for it, not get fired from your employer from it. But they don't understand that. Van Jones of CNN.
This is a red line that has been crossed for our industry, for the First Amendment, for the right of people to speak. There was nothing hateful about what was said, and even hateful speech is protected. This is not acceptable. If you are going to run a media organization,
it's 100% acceptable. Let me give you a little bit of the flat truth here, okay? I broadcast to you tonight. The name of the show is Stinchfield Tonight. You think I own this show? No. This is Real America's Voices, 1 hour time slot. It could be Stinchfield Tonight. It could be Your Name tomorrow night. We don't own this. As an example, Newsmax and I disagreed on content. I didn't want to say certain things. I got fired for it. And guess what? I was the first one to defend Newsmax's decision as a business owner. They can hire and fire whoever they want. It's their time slot. Just as with ABC, it's their time slot. This is not about free speech. Do you think if I started pushing liberal propaganda on Real America's Voice, I would be kept here? Oh, it's free speech. No, it doesn't fit the business model. So again, Jimmy Kimmel showed his true colors. That's why he was fired. Here's President Trump.
Well, Jimmy Kimmel was fired because he had bad ratings more than anything else, and he said a horrible thing about a great gentleman known as Charlie Kirk. And Jimmy Kimmel is not a talented person. He had very bad ratings, and they should have fired him a long time ago. So, you can call that free speech or not. He was fired for lack of talent.
Look, it's not free speech. It's free markets. You had Nexstar with like 70 affiliates that took the ABC programming in that time slot down, saying, we don't want Jimmy Kimmel. That's free markets. It's what this country was built on. Jimmy Kimmel got himself in his own hot water and he refused to apologize for it. But evil and immoral behavior, like we saw with Jimmy Kimmel lying to the American people, is commonplace for Democrats. Is it not evil and immoral to call us all Nazis when they know we're not Nazis? But what that does is give a would-be assassin the go-ahead to kill all the Nazis, even though we're not Nazis or racists, and we just want prosperity for everyone. J.B. Pritzker, the governor of Illinois, well, he got caught in a lie. See, they'll push this idea that we're Nazis, and then when they're pressed on it, then they lie, saying they've never done it. Well, the internet went to work and proved that, yes, he does.
That is completely false. I have never called Republicans Nazis.
Everything that he has done has been tearing down constitutional democracy. And that's what happened in Nazi Germany. It doesn't take very long to tear apart a constitutional republic. Indeed, the Nazis did it in 53 days. And our democracy is almost as fragile. And we're seeing it right now.
Oh, yeah. Nazi, 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 Nazi. J.B. Pritzker, another disaster. Fully bankrupt. Which brings us now to, speaking of another person who's morally bankrupt, Ilhan Omar. This congresswoman is anti-American. She's, I believe, a jihadist, literally serving in the United States Congress. She posted this video after Charlie Kirk's murder, okay? Who does this?
Kirk was a reprehensible human being. He enacted his political agenda by preying upon weak-minded people. He took complex socioeconomic issues and simplified them by pointing fingers at outgroups, demonizing those groups, and then sicking his massive following on them. He was a stochastic terrorist, an adamant transphobe.
A terrorist? I actually think Ilhan Omar is the one that supports terrorists. I think she's been open about it. So Republicans wanted to censure her for that and other comments, giggling about Charlie Kirk's assassination, horrible stuff. Nancy Mace brought this to the floor and put it like this.
A member, delegate, resident commissioner, officer, or employee of the House shall behave at all times in a manner that shall reflect credibility on the House. Whereas Representative Ilhan Omar's actions in the wake of the assassination of Charlie Kirk are reprehensible and affect the dignity and integrity of the proceedings of the House and do not reflect the credibility on the House. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Representative Ilhan Omar of Minnesota be censured.
She ought to be stripped of her committee assignments. Who wouldn't agree with that? Well, of course, Democrats don't. But 4 Republicans? How do you not agree with this? 4 Republicans voted against this, letting Ilhan Omar skate. I'm going to put their pictures up there. You take a look. Jeff Hurd of Colorado, Mike Flood of Nebraska, Tom McClintock of California, and Corey Mills of Florida. And the worst part of this is Corey Mills was the deciding vote in this. It turns out he made a deal with the devil being the Democrats. He made a deal saying, hey, don't bring this censure stuff up against me, and I'll vote for your person. That's quid pro quo, and it has no place in the halls of the United States Congress. I'm just disgusted by these rhinos that they would turn against their own party. Do you know what Democrats have done to Republicans? Just look at Marjorie Taylor Greene and others that were trying to censor. It's outrageous. Well, I want to bring in now, representing Colorado's 4th District, our good friend, the Republican Congresswoman Lauren Boebert is back with us. Congresswoman, great to see you.
Grant, it's great to be here. It's been certainly an unfortunate and eventful week, and yesterday just piled on to the disappointment, not only in Washington, D.C., but just for our party and being able to stand up for what we believe in and what we know is right, to table a motion to censure Ilhan Omar for her comments is inexcusable to me and unforgivable. We have seen George Santos imprisoned by just folks who simply don't agree with him and don't like him. And now we have someone who is dishonoring not only the life of Charlie Kirk, but his wife and children while they are grieving, and to take in the code of ethics that we have as members of Congress and not be able to uphold that. Look, we have freedom of speech, but it is not free of consequences.
Yeah, you bring up something very important. This idea of code of ethics inside the halls of Congress. I would hope that Congress has it. I know Real America's Voice has it. As I mentioned, I sign a contract that basically tells me to abide by a code of ethics. It has nothing to do with free speech. If you disregard code of ethics, you're held to a higher standard when you're a member of Congress. Getting giggly over the assassination of a human being is not the standard that members of Congress should be living to.
Yes. Well, Grant, even today, I was a little baffled and disheartened. I don't know how I get baffled here in the halls of Congress anymore. But look, we saw the leader of the Democrat Party, Hakeem Jeffries, who did nothing to silence his caucus when they were shouting down a prayer that was offered on the House floor, but also he was absent for a prayer vigil for Charlie Kirk in Statuary Hall. There were Democrats present, and I applaud those who were, and have even personally thanked some who were. But Hakeem Jeffries was nowhere to be found, and he said it was because he had a meeting. However, today there was a retiring employee, and congrats to him, a House employee who's been there for 30 years. Well, he received several minutes from Hakeem Jeffries, several more minutes from Nancy Pelosi. And I was to the point during this celebration and all of the time and attention that was given in this manner to offer a prayer so we could move on with the next thing, because certainly they would shut that down.
And I'm sure they did, correct?
Well, I didn't offer a prayer today. I allowed the man his celebratory goodbye. And, I do thank him for his service, but it just shows where their heart is. If they can't take a moment to even correct the people in their own party for the rhetoric and won't even attend an actual prayer vigil held by the Speaker of the House in Statuary Hall, it just shows where they're at.
Let me ask you about the mood inside Congress. Certainly, you would think most Republicans, you got these 4 who voted against this with Ilhan Omar. It's mind-boggling. But I would think certainly amongst Republicans, there's a sense of somberness that this could happen to any one of us now, that this assassination culture we're in. I would have hoped that at least Republicans and Democrats in Congress would see some common ground. They might put an arm around each other. They might have lunch together. Talk. Is there any of that, or has it gotten worse?
Certainly, there are some Democrats that I have good rapport with and can have conversations with. But unfortunately, it does seem like the rhetoric is being turned up, especially if you watch oversight committee hearings. The loud ones are even louder. And even the amount of threats that we're getting to our offices and personally and online is certainly increased. I would hope that this would have brought some unity, but I think we're seeing that there is no middle ground. It is time to choose a side. Just as God told us way back in Deuteronomy at the beginning of time, he said, choose life or cursing, choose blessing or cursing, life or death. And he even gave us the answer. He said, choose life. He didn't say that there was a middle ground, hang out there until you figure it out and just everybody come and coexist there and be cozy. There is no middle ground. It's time to choose. I think amongst Republicans in the aftermath of Charlie's assassination, there's both, of course, we're somber. Of course, we're sad and mourning. But I think we're starting to enter the angry stage of what happened. And it is a righteous anger. And we are going to continue to speak out the truth boldly.
Do you think the woke generation, this woke time period we're in, is on the downward trend now? Are we starting to beat back this and seeing some light at the end of the tunnel? Last word for you.
I certainly hope so. Millions of Americans attended church, some for the first time in a long time, some for the first time ever, in honor of Charlie. And I hope this is something that we progress in. People who had never fully heard Charlie Kirk before are listening to the words that he spoke now. And those words will create a massive legacy and will continue to bring millions more to the movement. Charlie Kirk didn't just bring people to the right. He brought people to Jesus. And that is what I hope we see more of, because that's what we really need.
Well, I know you were very close with Charlie Kirk, and I know the effect he had on you, like he had on all of us and to everyone out there, and you, Lauren Boebert. I'm sorry for your loss about this, but we move forward because that's what Charlie would want. Onward and upward. Thank you, Lauren Boebert.
Thanks, Grant.
Absolutely. All right, folks. So here we are now in this situation that we find us in. Where do we go? I say the only option is to keep winning. It's what President Trump would want. It certainly is what Charlie Kirk would want. How much work did Charlie Kirk put into winning elections? Well, it turns out he may be helping us now. This assassination, okay? If there's a bright light in anything, and I believe in every tragedy, something good happens. You heard Lauren Boebert talk about more people going to church. We've got 54,000 Turning Point USA chapters now wanting to be started. And then we've got positive momentum for the midterms, due in large part to the assassination of Charlie Kirk. This is my friend Mark Halprin.
Yeah. But now they're back to having the orientation they had before. Charlie must be demonized in death because he's close to Trump, because that's the only way they think. I think this could change the entire midterms.
Do you?
Yeah, I think this could be galvanizing the way the Dobbs decision was. But they have no idea what he did. They don't have any idea what his following's like. And this weekend, you saw the donations. You saw the chapter requests to be formed. You saw the vigils around the country and around the world.
Let me put a poll up if you can, guys. This poll about who believes violence is justified. All right, we do have the graphic. 42% of those that identify as liberal think violence is justified in America. Now, I'm upset to say of conservatives, it's like 6 to 8% of conservatives thinks it's justified. That's too many. But 42% of liberals, this is why the Democrat Party is absolutely failing. You know who believes in violence? Antifa, anti-fascists. Antifa is a chaos-creating group that literally wants anarchy in America. They've destroyed property, billions of dollars worth. They are responsible for the death and destruction of too many people. President Trump now says they are a terrorist organization. He's officially declared them that. He says he wants to look into the funding of Antifa. And J.D. Vance, the vice president, backs him up.
We are working very hard to ensure that the funding networks for left-wing violence, that the radicalization networks for left-wing violence, that if you encourage or fund your fellow Americans or anybody else to commit acts of violence because you disagree with political speech, you are going to be treated like a terrorist organization, and we're going to go after you.
Let me just give you a little example of what they're capable of. Well, there's that, and then there's this. Setting off flashbangs in front of an ICE facility in Portland, Oregon. I mean, they will stop at nothing, these folks. Look at this one, University of Washington. They create a blockade in tactical gear. They light fires, dumpsters on fire, again, destroying property, and they all look awful threatening. And they look threatening because they will do great harm to people. Someone who knows all about this is someone who's been attacked by Antifa himself, senior editor for the Post Millennial and author of Unmasked. Andy Ngo is back with us. Andy, it is good to see you. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
All right, Andy, your response. You and a few others are always in the mix of it, exposing Antifa. Now that they're dubbed a terror organization by the president, your reaction?
Well, a lot of work needs to be done. It's the statement from Trump is not where it ends. What needs to happen now is that the DOJ and the State Department have to work together to really break apart some of these networks. I think immediately what Marco Rubio needs to do is to designate Antifa, the international aspects of them, a terrorist group so that individuals can be sanctioned in that when the American Antifa members are receiving funding or training or some type of material aid, either way, from the international chapters, that then can be prosecuted. Number two, the DOJ already has a lot of tools at its hand right now, conspiracy charges, RICO. These were tools that should have been used 5 years ago by Attorney General Barr, who, as far as I know, didn't pursue any of that. Most of the federal cases involving Antifa violent suspects in Portland and elsewhere resulted in plea deals where they had to do community service or the cases were dismissed. So time is of the essence. We have just over 3 years left of this administration. Antifa are going to try to buy their time. They're going to try to get the ACLU involved to argue that this is a First Amendment infringement. It's not. We're talking about organized violent criminality.
Yeah. Well, let me show people some video of you right in the middle of Antifa. This is not First Amendment rights. They are attacking you. They end up coming in here in a moment and they'll start punching you. And Andy Ngo, as we watch this video, Democrats want to tell us Antifa doesn't exist. They just punched you in the face here.
Yeah, not only did they punch me on the face and head, they were wearing gloves that were reinforced with fiberglass so that my brain bled and I was hospitalized and nearly died. So I would like to tell that story to the Democrats. I would like to tell them about the stories of people who have been killed by Antifa, like Aaron Danielson in Portland, Oregon in 2020, who was a Trump supporter who was assassinated by an Antifa gunman who left behind a manifesto and made references to Antifa, very similar to Antifa references, by the way, on the rifle cartridges that were found near the Charlie Kirk assassination site.
Do you believe that the shooter, the alleged shooter in that case, is tied to Antifa? And if so, how so?
Yes, in terms of ideology, there's a lot that we don't know about him. We're getting this impression that he was somebody who's perpetually online, who didn't go outside of the shared home with the trans lover very much. But I think for him, his manifesto was what was written on those 4 rifle cartridges. And 2 of them have references to Antifa propaganda, one being the lyrics of their anthem, which is used by Antifa in their songs and placards and in a lot of their messaging as well. That cannot be, the significance of that cannot be overstated. I think the fact that we've learned from the Utah County prosecutor that his mother said the son has moved to the left more recently, has been quite focused on trans and queer issues. Like, these are all huge red flags. Like, that is what the Antifa have been focusing on, and as Trantifa as well. So the media is going to try to lie. They're lying about the assassination, saying that it was a MAGA person. They're lying about Antifa, saying that it's a figment of the right's imagination. So just be prepared for that. Push back against the lies. And the U.S. administration, the Trump administration, they're going to need a lot of resolve. They're going to have to be very creative to break up these networks because they're very entrenched and very spread out.
And well funded at that. And that's part of the investigation too, to see who's behind funding these organizations. Andy Ngo, you do such great work exposing all of this chaos that goes on around the country. Please stay safe out there. The Post Millennial is a great organization as well, and a great outlet to learn about these types of things. Andy Ngo, thank you as always.
My pleasure.
Absolutely. Andy puts himself in great danger to bringing these stories. As you see, I didn't know that he had a brain bleed after that. I remember when that happened to him. I didn't know that. This Antifa, they are a dangerous, dangerous bunch. All right, you need to learn about energized health and intercellular hydration. Supercharge your energy, boost your immune system, and dramatically increase your brain function, look and feel years younger, all through a simple and natural process. Don't believe me? Go to energizedhealth.com and check out hundreds of amazing testimonials. Energized Health offers 100% money-back guarantee. They're A+ rated and have helped thousands over 20 years. Go to energizedhealth.com. While you're there, check out the free masterclass. That's energizedhealth.com. All right, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser refuses to admit the National Guard has helped drive down crime in her city. We get into this next.
Hi, I'm Caleb, and this is my story. I was born with osteogenesis imperfecta, or brittle-bone disease. I have broken my bones almost 200 times, and I have had 11 surgeries. But I didn't let that stop me. I love to bike ride, climb, race, and I'm learning how to stand and walk. But I can only do all of this because of generous people like you and Shriners Hospitals for Children.
And for the past 100 years, Shriners Children's has become family to millions of kids. But it's only possible because of people like you.
Shriners Hospitals for Children is only able to provide this world-class, life-changing medical care because of the generous gifts of people just like you.
Because of you, I can ride my bike. I can play basketball. Because of people like you, I can play the trombone. I can smile.
Will you send your love to the rescue today?
When you go online to loveshriners.org, you'll help make all of this possible for kids like me. Like me. Like me. When you say yes to giving just $19 a month, only 63 cents a day, we'll send you this adorable Love to the Rescue blanket as a reminder of all the kids you're helping every day.
Your gift, no matter how small, can help a child today.
This is your moment to make a difference.
When you pick up your phone, I know you have it right there, and call to give. You're helping kids like me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Please call or go online now. If operators are busy, please call again or give right away at loveshriners.org.
Your gift makes a difference. Thank you for giving.
How does the world's most trusted dog expert keep his own dog so healthy?
Hi, I am Cesar Milan. In my 20 years rehabilitating dogs, I've seen too many struggle with health problems that no amount of training could fix. Then I discovered it wasn't the dog, it was their food. Fortunately, I found veterinarian Dr. Marty's Anti-Kibo Breakthrough.
Nature's Blend is packed with whole foods that are freeze-dried, locking in nutrients.
I saw remarkable improvements in my dogs within weeks.
Try Dr. Marty risk-free for 90 days. Plus, get a free gift when you call or visit drmartypets.com/Caesar.
When surprise breakdowns happen, American Home Shield will be there to fix or replace parts of the systems and appliances you rely on every day. They help protect your time and money by connecting you with qualified pros and helping pay for covered repairs or replacements. AHS offers flexible and affordable plans for every home. Sign up today and get $100 off with code AHS100. Visit AHS.com or call 833-PLAN-AHS.
Welcome back, everyone. We are getting new information about that shooting we told you about last night in York County, Pennsylvania, where 3 officers were shot and killed by a suspect who apparently now was laying in wait. He was a stalker suspect. He was in the house. 3 plainclothes detectives wearing bulletproof vests, by the way, go to serve this guy, and he's in the house with a long gun and opens fire on them. This is how the district attorney laid it out.
They decided that they were going to go in. The door was open, and upon immediately opening the door, the actor repeatedly fired at the officers with multiple rounds from an AR-15 styled rifle with a suppressor, immediately striking Detective Baker, striking Detective Sergeant Becker, striking at Detective Emenheiser.
Well, a shootout ensued, and those officers ultimately killed that suspect. We were originally told the suspect turned the gun on himself. We're now told that is not true. The officers there killed the suspect. Now, we do know the names of these officers. I want you to look at them on your screen. They're American heroes. Detective Sergeant Cody Becker, Detective Mark Baker, and Detective Isaiah Emenheiser. Men, we pray for you and your families. God bless you and thank you for your service to this country and certainly York County, Pennsylvania. In the theme of policing, I want to turn now to Washington, D.C. and the great work that President Trump, the National Guard, the D.C. Police, and the FBI have done, and a slew of other agencies in bringing crime way down. Now, apparently, Mayor Muriel Bowser, who was in front of Congress today to testify, says, nope, the National Guard had nothing to do with all this.
But you would agree that right now crime has dropped dramatically since they've been present.
Mr. Perry, what has worked is not the National Guard in helping enhance MPD services. What has worked is more DEA, more FBI.
So you're saying the Guard has had no impact in D.C.?
No, what I'm saying is the Guard is not, as has been described to us, has not.
Can you quantify that?
I can't quantify a causal relationship.
You can't quantify it.
Do you know why you can't quantify it? Because the National Guard hasn't made any arrests in Washington, D.C., but they're a calming presence. If you live in a war zone, okay, which is what D.C. is, and you see National Guardsmen there, you know you're safe when they're around. And that has a nice effect on the people. It also has a big effect on the criminals. They're not going to commit crimes in front of National Guardsmen. That has a big effect. Now, as does most hearings in Washington, D.C., they go downhill fast between Republicans and Democrats. This is Rashida Tlaib, a radical, going with our man Byron Donalds head-to-head.
It's way out of line. Regular order, Mr.
Way out of line.
Regular order.
That's okay, but it's okay, right?
That is not how it goes.
It's okay, right?
You hold yourself accountable before you talk about
Hold
Washington,
myself accountable. Hold your own self accountable. How about that? Hold your own self accountable. How about that?
Free DC and make sure you vote with your own voting card. Don't be giving it to somebody else.
You see what I'm saying? Free DC. That's all she screams about. Crime is way down. It's working. President Trump is now sending the National Guard into Memphis, and I'm sure the federal agencies will be unleashing their presence in Memphis as well. And guess what? In Memphis, what will happen? Crime will come way down, and the criminals will be put on the run. It's a simple game, really. I want to bring in now 30-year law enforcement veteran and founder of the Wounded Blue charity, Lieutenant Randy Sutton, is back with us. Lieutenant, good to see you.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, it's nothing short of entertaining, certainly, these hearings, isn't it, Lieutenant?
It's almost incredible to watch some of these lawmakers who are the quote leadership of this nation. I look at Jasmine Crockett and her statement the other day about that law enforcement isn't there to deter crime; it's there to only solve crimes. I mean, you watch some of this, and it's almost unbelievable to observe.
Well, let me play another clip for you. This is cut 11 for my producer, James Comer, who's leading this. Well, I'll let you listen to it because he asked a question, and it's interesting to say the least.
Chairman Mendelson, is there a juvenile crime problem in Washington, D.C.?
Well, the challenge, Mr. Chairman, is that what does problem mean? So if I were to say yes,
that's
no, there's too much.
No, if you can't say there's a juvenile crime problem in Washington, D.C., that's why we have to come in and help out a little bit.
Lieutenant, in your decades of policing, when somebody comes to you and says there's a problem in this neighborhood, do you know what it is or what to go look for?
It's absurd. It's just absurd. The criminal justice system in Washington, D.C. has been destroyed from within by the city council in D.C., by the mayor, and by the leftist policies that have been put into place. Now, the Metropolitan Police Department is an excellent agency, but they have been whittled down in their numbers because the city has made it so incredibly difficult to actually be a police officer there. They have put every roadblock in place to keep the police from actually policing. So this is the issue, and the fact that they have created laws that for a juvenile you can do anything in Washington, D.C. and not feel any accountability at all. So is there a problem? It's much more than a problem. It is a catastrophe of crime.
You know, Lieutenant, sometimes I think they have self-interest in front of national interest every day of the week, specifically for Democrats, that coddle criminals and turn their back on the law-abiding. Listen to this. This is Representative Stansberry, another Democrat, today.
Pre-K right. D.C. offers free pre-K for toddlers. The ripple effects have helped K through 12 schools. This is the first city in the United States to have universal pre-K in the country. They are innovating and leading the way.
Stansberry, no tryouts for MSNBC.
No tryouts for MSNBC. Lieutenant, it's a crime hearing, and she's pushing every left-wing policy she can think of. But again, it's not focusing on what people are concerned about.
No, because if you're concerned with the problem, that means you have to come up with a solution for it. They don't want to have solutions. And, here's the absurdity here. They're put into positions of power in order to safeguard their communities. And yet they have abdicated that responsibility 100%. They have literally created an environment for the police not to be able to police. Now what Donald Trump has done is he has sunk incredible resources into the crime situation and put in the feds when you get charged with a federal crime, it's not like going to jail for a DC crime. Okay, you're going to jail and you're going to stay there for a while. So there's no bail, low bail policies that have been put into place. The lack of accountability for any criminal conduct. This is what's reared its ugly head. This is why it's become such an incredibly dangerous city.
Well, I think America has started to wake up to all of the things that you just spelled out there. And you're one reason why you're a strong voice on this topic. Thank you for your service again, too, Lieutenant Randy Sutton. We appreciate you coming on today.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Always good to see you. All right, folks. After President Trump's historic visit to the UK, Prime Minister Keir Starmer stabs us straight in the back. You'll see this next.
Thinking about Social Security? Think AMAC. The AMAC Foundation takes the confusion and stress out of understanding Social Security's thousands of rules and regulations. Our nationally accredited advisors offer a personal touch that is unmatched. But that's not all AMAC has to offer. AMAC is America's leading conservative advocacy and benefits organization, guided by the principles of faith, family, and freedom. So when it comes to Social Security and so much more, think AMAC.
On the
J6er. I spent 1,143 days in prison.
About a year in prison.
4 years out of an 18-year sentence in prison.
J6ers have been treated like terrorists.
And we need your help.
Stand in the Gap was founded to stand in the gap for J6ers working to rebuild their lives after being incarcerated.
For just $10 or more, you can help these patriots get back on their feet again.
Please scan the QR code to donate $10 or more to support these American patriots.
Thank you for standing in the gap.
Water, nature's ultimate cleaner. We drink it, we bathe in it. Think water, think steam, think clean. Now harness the power of water with the H2O X5 5-in-1 steam cleaning system.
I'm so impressed with the X5.
It's an all-in-one product. I can use it throughout my entire house.
It's cleaning, it's sanitizing. There's no chemicals in it. It's just steam.
This is unbelievable. There is no more odor.
5 minutes, I'm done. Look at that, it's amazing.
If you're ready to step into an effective, economical, and eco-safe world of cleaning, look no further than the H2O X5. Using just the power of superheated water, the X5 Super Hot Steam cleans and kills up to 99% of germs, viruses, and bacteria. You could spend over $500 to purchase the products that the X5 5-in-1 Miracle replaces. But through this special TV offer, you won't spend $400, $300, or even $200. Order your H2O X5 steam cleaning system, a $500 value, for just 4 easy payments of $43. You'll get the X5 steam mop with microfiber pad, the carpet glider, the handheld scrubber, the window glass and mirror attachment, and the garment and upholstery bonnet. It's a complete 10-piece system, all this for just 4 easy payments of $43. But it gets even better. Order now and we'll upgrade your X5 package. We'll add a 6th mode with a dusting and polishing wand. Valued at over $30, this extra bonus attachment makes your H2O X5 the H2O X6. That means your 10-piece system becomes a 12-piece system at no extra cost to you. If after 30 days you're not absolutely delighted, send it back for a full refund of the purchase price. Don't wait. Now's your chance to own the X5 for just 4 easy payments, and we'll make the first payment for you. You get the X5 incredible 5-in-1 lightweight, powerful 12-piece steam cleaning system, a $500 value, all for just 3 easy payments of $43. This offer can't last forever, so call or click right now.
Welcome back, everyone. One of the worst debacles of the Biden presidency was the disastrous pullout of Afghanistan. American lives were lost, too many American lives that didn't need to be lost. You know what else we lost? Bagram Air Base, a critical airfield that is right there where we need it to be so we can get to rogue nations very quickly. Biden gave it up. Well, apparently now President Trump, he wants it back.
We were going to keep Bagram, the big air base, one of the biggest air bases in the world. We gave it to them for nothing. We're trying to get it back, by the way. Okay, that could be a little breaking news. We're trying to get it back because they need things from us. We want that base back. But one of the reasons we want the base is, as you know, it's an hour away from where China makes its nuclear weapons.
It's right there. It was a very strategic location. We should have never given it up. Now, today at the news conference, there was news that came out that Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister in England, wants to recognize, quote, Palestine, which doesn't even exist in my mind, as a state. It's a disastrous move. Hamas runs Palestine. Who's going to lead an official state? A group of terrorists? The Muslim Brotherhood? Makes no sense. Well, he was asked about that at the news conference with President Trump today after the state dinner last night.
If you feel so strongly about officially recognizing Palestine for statehood, why are you waiting for President Trump to leave the country? Why can't you just do it right now? And isn't there a risk in rewarding Hamas with that?
Well, let me be really clear about Hamas. They're a terrorist organization who can have no part in any future governance in Palestine. And
that's good. That's good, President Trump says. It doesn't really answer the question. So far, he has not declared, quote, Palestine a state, official statehood, but we shall see. And this is very important right now, that this does not happen. I want to bring in now Director of Jihad Watch, Robert Spencer, is with us. Robert, good to see you. Welcome back.
Rand, always good to talk to you. Thank you.
All right. Why is it important that we do not recognize this area as an official nation?
Well, in the first place, what area are we talking about? The Palestinian territories right now consist of Gaza and Judea and Samaria, which the Jordanian government renamed the West Bank in 1950. And they are not contiguous. They don't have a common border, common territory. So the idea of a Palestinian state in the first place is it several non-contiguous territories, or is territory going to be taken from Israel for it? Israel says there's not going to be a Palestinian state. So who is going to enforce the creation of this state? Are the British or the French or the other governments that are talking about recognizing a Palestinian state going to send troops and make war against Israel in order to create this state? And then there's the question of who's going to be in charge. Keir Starmer says, oh, Hamas is a terrorist organization, but they've been in control of Gaza since 2007. And despite everything that has happened and all the losses they have suffered, they still are. So who's going to govern a Palestinian state? If they had an election, it would be Hamas. How's Starmer going to stop that?
Yeah, that's not what anybody wants. Starmer, by the way, has his own set of problems. The immigration situation there has been out of control. We know that England has been overrun with Muslims, and in many cases, radical Muslims. This is a very strong voice. He's maybe the Charlie Kirk-style guy of the United Kingdom. His name's Tommy Robinson. They got a big Unite the United Kingdom rally. Play that, cut 4.
They told the world that Somalians, Afghanis, Pakistanis, and all of them, their rights supersede yours, the British public, the people that built this nation.
Is he right?
Oh, he's absolutely right. And actually, these two things go together, Grant, because that's why Starmer wants to recognize a Palestinian state, so he can secure the Muslim vote, which is very large and growing very quickly, for Labour, the left party that's in power in Britain. And Tommy is saying they're essentially at war with their own people, which is absolutely true. They arrest people for mean tweets, and they throw them in prison for waving the flag of their own country. And meanwhile, there are gangs of Muslims committing rapes on a massive scale. This has been going on for years, and most of them still remain unprosecuted because the leftist establishment in Britain is desperately afraid of being called Islamophobic.
Yeah. Well, it is an invasion. I'm going to play another clip of Tommy Robinson because I see many similarities between what happened in England, what's happening in England right now, to what happened under the United States with Joe Biden at the helm. This is Tommy Robinson, cut 5.
Politicians all of a sudden are finding courage, and they're parroting the things that we have said for 15 years. They targeted us, they slandered us, they demonized us, they attacked us, and they imprisoned us. But they can see the people power. They can see the shift.
I think that shift may be happening somewhat in the United Kingdom, like we saw here in the United States. But they're further down this Muslim road than we are. Before I let you go, Robert, what's the lesson the United States should take from the United Kingdom and basically Europe in general here?
Well, you know, President Trump tried years ago to limit mass migration from countries, not solely Muslim countries, but countries that would not or could not give us good information about the people coming in. And many of those were Muslim countries. Would have ended this problem, would have made sure that jihad terrorists didn't enter the country, would have kept this demographic disaster that Britain is facing from ever happening here. But in the absence of that, it's going to happen. We're looking at our future there when you show those pictures.
How worried are you about Islamic terrorism on U.S. soil? Real quick before I let you go.
Well, there's just no doubt whatsoever that there are going to be more attacks because the Islam in America is not any different from the Islam anywhere else. It's not like they have a Quran that's full of be nice instead of wage war against the unbelievers.
Yeah, it seems like almost those in power are forgetting about that threat. And they don't forget about that threat, I promise you. They're plotting and planning right now, then that's a guarantee. Jihad Watch is a great organization. Robert Spencer, you're a great guy, and we appreciate you coming on the program.
Always good. Thank you, Grant. Always good to talk to you.
Thank you. My pleasure. All right, folks. MAGA is a powerful grassroots movement fueled by you, led by President Trump, and, of course, voices like Charlie Kirk. We'll tell you why we're not giving up yet. It's next.
Hello, friends. Pat Boon here with a message from the past. Imagine the shock of reading tomorrow's newspaper and discovering the price of gold has doubled to over $1,000 an ounce. Sound impossible? Well, it's not. That's right. Back in 2006, my friends at Swiss America forecast gold prices would top $1,000 an ounce, and they were right. Today, several financial firms are forecasting $3,000 gold. Now, for over 40 years, Swiss America has helped folks like you and me purchase precious metals for home delivery and for our IRAs. So don't miss this opportunity again. Call or text Swiss America at the number on your screen now to receive your free portfolio review and a copy of The Timeless Truth About Gold and Silver. Learn for yourself how easy it is to safeguard your money. Call or text Swiss America today.
This right here is confidence in a bottle.
Not only does it change you on the outside, but something in the inside, knowing that you're looking better.
It makes me feel so much more confident than I've ever felt in my life.
They are some of the hottest videos on social media. Those videos claiming to instantly get rid of bags under your eyes. Well, today we're going to see one for ourselves and let you be the judge. It's called Plexiderm, and lifestyle expert Annette Figueroa is here to tell us why she says this one is for real.
This one is for real, and I'm so excited. We even have a video, and you'll notice the model has bags underneath his eyes and some sagging, and all he uses is a small amount on a clean, dry face, and that's how easy it is.
All right, what's the active ingredient?
Okay, so it's silicates that are minerals found in shale rock, and what it does is it tightens and lifts the appearance of bags underneath your eyes, and as little as 10 minutes, no prescriptions, and very little effort. Even watching the video, this is a real, it's a model, but it's a real guy with real bags underneath his eyes.
My real true opinion is holy words I can't say on camera. This is absolutely unbelievable. I mean, I could feel it just lifting my skin. It was amazing. It feels good. Feels great. Looks even better.
And I did this to my father. We were at home. So we applied it to his under eye bags. And let me tell you, we were so excited. In under 10 minutes, they visibly disappeared from view. And now it is literally part of both of our daily routines. He calls me every single month saying, "Hey, Annette, I'm out of Plexiderm. Please send me more." And not only does it work on the bags, it works on the appearance of crow's feet, fine lines, and wrinkles. The way you want to do it is you want to have a clean, dry face. You use a small amount because it's so powerful. You have high school reunions, you have events you want to go to, you want to look years younger. This is it.
At our $14.95 price, it's the best way to try Plexiderm and see it work for yourself after your first application. Call the number on your screen.
Call 1-800-854-0295.
Welcome back, everyone. As you know, one of the most important issues that we face as a nation is certainly election integrity. How do we make sure it's American citizens that are voting? That's first and foremost. Well, thanks to AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens, I'm getting educated on this. So President Trump says he wants ID. Well, the Election Assistance Commission, I had never even heard of this, could make a rule change. And according to the National Voter Registration Act, the EAC, the Election Assistance Commission, has the right to make a rule change that would require ID that you're an American citizen. That seems like a pretty easy change. Where they're taking public comments on this. 6,700 of those public comments have come from AMAC members. I want to bring in now AMAC Action Senior Vice President Andy Mangione is with us. Andy, welcome back to the show.
Great to be here, Grant.
All right, Andy, I actually didn't know this. I didn't know it's a simple rule change. How hard could this be to get done?
Well, it shouldn't be that difficult at all. And you had mentioned before that you hadn't heard of the Election Assistance Commission. And it's kind of a federal agency that flies under the radar. But what they are, Grant, is a bipartisan commission whose mission is to help election officials improve the administration of elections and help Americans participate in the voting process. As you mentioned, they've opened up a website like all federal agencies do when they're considering a rule change. They want to hear what the public has to say about the proposed rule change. This rule change would require documentary proof of citizenship when registering to vote in federal elections. And as you mentioned, Grant, the National Voter Registration Act grants the EAC the authority to require this proof of citizenship to verify voter eligibility, so they are well within their jurisdiction to make this important rule change.
All right. You and I both know we can call things bipartisan. There's really no such thing in Washington anymore. So how does this work? Are people on this commission? Are they appointed, some by Democrats,
Yes.
some by Republicans? And then, of course,
Yes.
here we are, we're going to get a fight. Are Republicans in control?
Yes, they are. There are 4 commissioners. They are presidentially appointed, and they have to be approved by the U.S. Senate. The chairman of the EAC is a Trump appointee from 2019. And you have to understand why it's so important for this rule change, Grant. Under current law, voter registration for federal election relies on the honor system. Applicants just have to check a box attesting that they're citizens. So clearly, this needs to be changed to documentary proof of citizenship. And to even make a bigger case for it, Grant, we've seen in states like Pennsylvania, Michigan, Arizona, and North Carolina, non-citizens have not only registered to vote, but some have actually voted.
Yeah. It has to go through. It seems to me a no-brainer. I know AMAC is collecting signatures. This is one reason why I would urge everyone to join AMAC. This is the kind of work that you guys in your organization are doing that I just love. To do it, go to amac.us/grant. You can save 33% on a 5-year membership. Before I even talk more about that, I want to say that AMAC and Charlie Kirk and Turning Point USA has always had a great relationship. This is a clip we pulled of Charlie Kirk at a AMAC event.
The issue of education is a top issue right now for good reason. And we don't talk about it as much in recent months for understandable reasons, inflation, gas prices, the open border. But if you talk to moms and dads, especially in suburban areas across America, they are outraged about what's happening in our nation's schools.
Be remiss if I didn't let you say a few words about Charlie Kirk and his impact on AMAC and the country.
He's a patriot. He was a faithful friend to AMAC. Grant, we aligned last year, AMAC Actions Advocate Conference, with an event he was holding in Detroit, and it was a huge success. I had the opportunity to interview him on Broadcast Row at CPAC. He was gracious with his time, a true gentleman, and he was scheduled to speak via Zoom at our Boot Camp for Patriots event next week in Virginia, and we're going to be honoring him with a touching tribute.
Andy Mangione, thank you so much. Charlie Kirk most certainly will be missed. The work continues, though, at AMAC and so many other groups. Thank you. And again, if people want to join AMAC, and I urge you to, I did, go to amac.us/grant. You can do that right now. Save 33% on a 5-year membership. That's for about $1 a month. You'll get access to major discounts, exclusive resources, a subscription to AMAC Magazine, which is great. It's amac.us/grant, and some video there on the screen. This is President Trump landing at Andrews Air Force Base after his trip overseas, coming in on Air Force One. We will be back in a moment.
Thinking about buying a new cell phone? Think AMAC. AMAC members have access to special pricing on talk, text, and data plans for as little as $10 per month. It's one of the many ways joining AMAC can save you money on everyday things. But that's not all AMAC has to offer. AMAC is America's leading conservative advocacy and benefits organization, guided by the principles of faith, family, and freedom. So when it comes to saving money on cell phones and service, think AMAC.
We realize there are many choices when it comes to who you choose for your cell phone service, and there are new ones popping up all the time. But here's the truth. There's only one that boldly stands in the gap for every American that believes that freedom is worth fighting for. And that's Patriot Mobile. For more than 12 years, Patriot Mobile has been on the front lines, fighting for our God-given rights and freedoms, while also providing exceptional nationwide cell phone service with access to all 3 of the main networks. Don't just take our word for it. Ask the hundreds of thousands of Americans who've made the switch and are now supporting causes they believe in simply by joining Patriot Mobile. Switching is easier than ever. Activate in minutes from the comfort of your own home. Keep your number, keep your phone, or upgrade. Patriot Mobile's all U.S.-based support team is standing by to take care of you. Call 972-PATRIOT today or go to patriotmobile.com/TrumpUK. Use promo code TrumpUK for a free month of service. That's patriotmobile.com/TrumpUK or call 972-PATRIOT and make the switch today.
I'm a J6er. I spent 1,143 days in prison.
About a year in prison.
4 years out of an 18-year sentence in prison.
J6ers have been treated like terrorists.
And we need your help.
Stand in the Gap was founded to stand in the gap for J6ers working to rebuild their lives after being incarcerated.
For just $10 or more, you can help these patriots get back on their feet again.
Please scan the QR code to donate $10 or more to support these American patriots.
Thank you for standing in the gap.
Every person who has taken me on this road to that prison is a friggin' Democrat and a Trump hater.
When former White House advisor Peter Navarro stood on principle, he never imagined it would land him behind bars.
They demanded that I break the law.
But he refused to betray Donald Trump or the Constitution and paid the price as a political prisoner. Locked inside a Miami federal prison, Peter found two lifelines, postcards of hope to his fiancée Bonnie Pixie Brenner, and a hidden multi-million-dollar prison scandal he's now exposing. Went to prison so you won't have to. Peter and Pixie share a riveting prison diary, a heartfelt love story, and a shocking look at injustice in America's prison system. Stand with Peter. Scan the QR code now or go to Amazon.com to order your copy.
I went to prison so you won't have to.
Welcome back, everyone. I have a sad note to tell you about. My friend and a regular on this program, a fabulous guy, an American hero, a U.S. Army vet, fought in the Iraq War, was so instrumental when it came to intelligence and fighting back against our enemies. He was a great friend of General Flynn. Boon Cutler has passed. And I got a statement from General Flynn today. I want to read it if we could put that up on the screen. Boon was one of the finest warriors and an obedient servant of Jesus Christ. He served our country in Iraq. He served our country on the streets of America, helping to save fellow warriors. He's been serving and fighting back against the rise of Marxism, all to help save our country. And now he's in heaven serving the Lord. That from my other friend, General Mike Flynn, who was such close friends with Boon Cutler. Boon Cutler will be missed. I will miss him on this program, and America will miss him because this was a great strategic thinker and a great American hero. Rest in peace, Boon. Stinchfield's Army rolls. We'll see you tomorrow.
Live from Studio 6B, Real America's Voice, Dish Network Channel 219, Pluto TV 240, Samsung TV Plus Channel 1175, Roku TV, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and Select TV Channel 106. Remember, also follow us on all of the socials. We're talking about streaming on Rumble, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, X, Kick, Getter, Instagram. You're gonna find us at LFS6B Show on Instagram, and of course, like and share the show. Share it with your friends, share it with your family, share it with people you don't know. Just share the damn show already. We truly appreciate it. Paul Nolan is here tonight. He's got some news. Slick Rick is there. He's got some sports. Vinny is actually in New York. He's here. He's got some news as well. Right now, if you look at that, President Trump's Air Force One has just landed from his trip to the UK. So we're going to have that kind of sitting there. He may come down the steps and address the press when he comes down. And if that's the case, we will take that live. In the meantime, though, they're just, like I said, they've just landed. I think they just Aaron, did they just move the staircase into position? Okay, so and usually from there it takes a few minutes for the president to gather up his, check his seat back, make sure he didn't leave anything behind,
get his luggage,
right? Get his overhead, and come down the stairs.
I don't think he gets his luggage. Imagine
you don't
he's
think
going
so?
through the overhead.
You don't think he's like putting away his earphones that they gave him? No,
I don't even think that. No,
Right.
nobody takes
Just
care of
checking.
that for the president. Too busy for that nonsense.
I know, Slick.
Come on,
I was making a.
We know you have plenty of baggage, but that's another story for a different show.
only corrugated bags.
And,
Yes.
and you're gonna need more than one airplane to carry that stuff around.
No, cargo plane there for that.
That's not a bad idea, by the way. Disposable luggage by Rick Delgado, made out of corrugated.
Yeah.
You bring it on your trip, you come home, you throw it out. You don't need to store it.
Or you save it for the next trip.
Or, well, for you personally.
For me
I think
personally,
you have,
yeah.
That would complement this wardrobe.
check
What?
please.
I told you,
Tip your waitress.
I will wear these jeans till they're shorts. Okay, that's just the bottom line. I don't care how many holes I have.
You heard it here, folks. Another fashion icon in the making.
Finlandia Swiss designer jeans.
Exactly. So, like I said, we'll be sticking with this, watching for the president when he comes down the steps, and see if he does address the press. I'm sure they'll have plenty of questions. I know there is breaking. Is there breaking news? I feel like there's always breaking news, especially at the top of the show. It seems to be the case. We've had an arrest of a man threatening Mamdani. We had, just tons of stuff going on. Trump, of course, being in the UK the last couple days, being really feted.
Can we talk about that?
Yeah, we'll talk about that. I got a couple clips of it.
Yeah.
Really being...
What a trip.
They rolled out the royal red carpet in this trip.
Some schedule.
It was pretty impressive.
As they say in England.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, you know what? While we're waiting to see if the president comes down, let's go around the room real quick. Paul Nolan, how are you?
I'm well. I only saw one of his clips where he basically said he didn't want the Mayor Khan of London to be there because he's a clown. So I saw that today. I thought that was good. I tried to stay in touch with the Twitter feed and the audience today, but it was a rough day for me. This old boy had to do physical labor again.
Again?
I had a handheld jackhammer. And I had to carve out these big, giant, 40-inch spaces, and I had to make them perfectly level and square because the windows we had didn't fit. I don't want to wait 7 weeks for new custom windows. So that's right. Put on the hard hat, got it done.
To work.
And that's why I'm a flea bag. I had to drive one of my guys home out in Central Islip, and then I came right to here. So the first person who bitches and moans about me wearing a T-shirt, you're dead to me.
Wow.
I'm just kidding.
That's a little harsh.
I'm just kidding.
Came out firing.
You smell just a little.
I'm keeping my arms down.
That's a nice color shirt. I'm wearing a suit that color.
Well, you know
tomorrow.
what?
Almost that color.
Let's
Very nice.
let's focus on the big screen as the president and the first lady, Melania,
there you go.
come down the stairs, and they're making their way to the bottom, of course.
And did they land in D.C.?
And do we know where they landed? Did they land at Andrews?
Or down in Florida?
Okay. Well, the president has landed. He's back in the United States. He's back stateside. Let's watch him as he crosses the tarmac here. Let's see if they're going to take any questions, answer any questions, give any answers to the gaggle, or if they're just going to continue. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's going to happen. It usually would have happened by now. And it's confirmed he is at Andrews Air Force Base.
Okay.
Or what do they call it now? Joint Base Andrews. That's what they call it.
Can you
now
just
he'll be boarding Marine One, which will take him back to the White House. He and the First Lady heading back to the White House. So there it is, Marine One. There was a little bit of breaking news on there when they were getting ready to leave. I guess there was a helicopter issue with the part of the hydraulic system. While they were heading back to get onto Air Force One, they had to make a quick emergency landing.
Oh, boy.
And then they just, took care of the problem, got him on a different helicopter, got him right back to Air Force One, and there you see him. He is now safely back in the United States, him and the First Lady, so we welcome them back. Again, the president being feted, really, just a whirlwind trip to the UK. Right? Did you said, Paul, you saw a little bit of it?
I saw him on Air Force One talking about the speech issues over there and talking about the mayor Khan, who's a complete dirtbag.
Yeah. What about you, Vin? Because I know you said you saw some of this as well.
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah. I watched it. I watched all of the coverage. By the way, I just thought it was remarkable. I cannot tell you how many times I have felt proud to be an American during the first 8 months of this presidency. There's so many things he's done that just make me feel proud, to be an American. And the way that they set up the dinner that they had the other night, I think it was last night, the way they've done every event, they've been remarkable. They even had the band playing YMCA.
Did they?
I didn't see that.
That's
I sent a clip into Eric.
That's a nice. That's a nice gesture.
And it was remarkable, and also his interaction. You could just tell when you watch people and their body language when they're interacting, especially in a formal thing. You always look for the little things. Are they smiling when they talk? Do they make eye contact? This was a very positive, friendly thing. They came out with deals, but man, it just made me feel good.
Yeah, me too.
He's just killing it. I mean, I love it.
And if you saw some of the stuff there, Slick, did you see any of the coverage or anything online?
Yeah, I liked when he was walking through the Royal Guard. That was one of the most stunningly impressive things I've ever seen. Yeah. Just, you see this great American, right? Greatest American in our history. Let's face it, it's going to be that, right? And he's walking through the Royal Guard. I mean, that was like that really caught me. Yeah. And I did see, now who was it? Which one of the sons that greeted him with the wife?
William.
Eric?
William.
You mean the royal sons? Right.
A lot of respect and admiration the way they looked at the president when he was looking at the father there, when he was looking at Charles, it was that look in their face, and they were like at attention. And I mean, it could have been all for show, but to me, I felt a genuine admiration for the president and what he brings to the table.
Well, the political tides have turned in the UK as well. I guess it's going to be called Mucka. Make UK great again, because we saw what Tommy Robinson and what the people have done there, take it to the streets, chanted for Charlie Kirk, standing up for freedom, standing up for free speech. They've been oppressed for way too long. They have been at the center of the globalist movement of central bankers. Terrible. And they have been completely dominated and infiltrated by a destabilization of their entire culture. And people have had it, and they were told that they were racist for not wanting to lose their British heritage, their British culture. And let's all go on record as saying, when someone speaks with a British accent, there's a regal elegance to it.
Yeah.
They should never lose it to a Muslim accent.
Right.
I don't want to hear it. I am not a racist. I'm not an anti-Islamophobe or whatever it is. You're an anti-Christianite. I'll call you a name too. It's all bullcrap. It's all a lie. These people are standing up for their culture. They've earned it. Their parents earned it. Their grandparents earned it. Their great-grandparents earned it. Leave them be. Stop gaslighting them. And Trump is over there as a beacon of freedom and defiance to all of them.
Yeah, especially the ones that kind of kowtow to that type of mentality. Slick, you were talking about the president inspecting the Royal Guard. Here it is. Here is cut 4. Piers Morgan here has these pictures for us, on the president's historic trip. And also, I saw they were talking to people in the streets who couldn't even get close to where the president was, and they just wanted to be near the area where he was. It's amazing. Amazing to see the people in London flocking to the president like this when we're told time and again by the left, we're so disrespected around the world. No, we're not. You are, but we're not.
I'm not buying that.
Here's cut number 4. Check this out.
No question. I think this is a real statement by the king and by the senior members of the royal family. I mean, it's very rare they all get together like this for a visit by a foreign leader. They're doing it to make a point. I think they recognize the world feels a little bit precarious right now. You have 2 raging wars in Ukraine and in Gaza. And you have a lot of people, particularly since the appalling murder of Charlie Kirk. I think
that's a great hat he's got.
That's great about the way that issues like free speech are going in the world. And I think that the royal family want to make a statement. They
the same haircut.
I love the president. He picks up on everything. He's so good with that.
Who they know actually believes in his
to me that is just so regal. It is. It's beautiful.
So I think that this is it's a statement by the royal family. We're going to roll out the ultimate red carpet. And again, just to stress, I've not seen this done for any other world leader. This is unprecedented. And bearing in mind that Donald Trump is getting a second state visit, but the first one was for a different monarch. So nobody has ever, US president or anybody else, has ever had a state visit with two different monarchs. So that, again, I think
that to me was unbelievable. When I saw that, I'm glad you have that clip.
Last time it was with Queen Elizabeth. This time it's with her eldest son,
I had no
King
idea
Charles.
it would be this regal.
That is real history.
Yeah. And again, as Piers Morgan describes it, it's real history. Never has a U.S. president or any other foreign leader come and had two audiences like that from the royal family.
It was stunning.
Unapologetic agenda looks like.
That's right. Piers said it well, though. No, not only have they never done that, but they're making a statement to their people and to us saying, hey, we're fed up too. Yeah. And we're going to open the floodgates for you to help us.
Oh, we'll see what happens. So. Here is King Charles actually announcing a toast. And they do things a little bit different here in the UK for the toast. We can play a little bit of it, like 30 seconds, because it really just not much happens. Here's cut 5. Check this out.
Therefore, as we celebrate this unparalleled partnership, allow me to propose a toast to President Trump and the First Lady, and to the health, prosperity, and happiness of the people of the United States of America.
Now watch what happens. Now usually, after you say I want to propose a toast, you say something. I'm under the assumption now, after watching this clip a couple times, that nothing is said in the UK, or at least when the royal family does it. They all stand while the music is played, and that's the toast. There is no mud in your eye. Here's to swimming bow-legged women. None of that stuff. It's they just stand there.
I don't think that's in
at
their
attention.
Repertoire.
Band,
right?
The band is on point too.
Anyhow, so that's what happened. What did I say?
Here's to bow-legged women. I mean, come on. Yeah, I can see Charles saying
that would have sounded great in this English accent.
Well, you never heard that one before? Come on, watch Jaws.
All 2 million times.
All right,
the toast
we'll take
was the speech. That was the toast.
I guess that was the toast, right? There you have it. Then another minute standing there while they all wait to take a sip of the drink. We'll take a quick break, come back. It's a Thursday night, live from Studio 6B, Real America's Voice, and on LI News Radio 103.9, linewsradio.com. Stay there.
Women?
Here's the swimming with bow-legged women. You never heard that?
Of course. I've heard that. I actually swam with them.
See? Rick Slick is
I had a leg up on them, though, those women, I'll tell you.
I'm sure you did.
I don't make any waves here.
Right through the gap.
Yep.
All right. Let's jump on a chat.
What did
we have to pick the game,
Network
Rick.
Today, Megyn Kelly was on the Charlie Kirk show with Jack Posobiec, and that they capture what we're feeling again about just how it just comes in waves, man. You're doing all right, then you think it's all right for a second, you catch a clip, and you're like, this is, it's just
surreal.
And I hate, that's a word that got overused for a while, but it is fully surreal.
Yeah.
Rumble. Howdy, Rumblers. Oh, we forgot to do the pick.
It's okay.
We'll do the pick coming out of the break. Okay, Slick?
Yeah, that sounds
because
good.
The game just started. It's still 0-0.
Nothing's happened. No, I know. It's not going to change who I'm going to pick.
No, I know. He already told me who he's got.
Yeah.
He's got Buffalo minus 11.
And a half.
I thought it changed to 10.
No, it moved. BetMGM was 10.5, and then it moved a point. Big money came in.
Wow.
Paul Nolan.
Aaron with the
Paul just put 100,000 on the Bills.
Yeah.
That moved everything over.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 100,000 pesos.
Do you know what happened with the Utah governor today? Sean Stafford on social media is saying that something came out. How do I feel about the Utah governor now? I did compliment him on what he said at the press conference, but something must have happened that...
I've had bad feelings about that guy since day one.
You have. You absolutely have.
I mean, I'm not gushing over this guy, but I thought he gave a decent little presentation there when he first came out to talk about the murderer that was the assassin that was captured. Outside of that, I don't know the guy. I don't know much about what he does.
You guys don't decompress together?
We don't decompress together. But I don't know. I don't know what's out there. So I'm going to ask Sean Stafford. If you're out there, Sean, tell me what happened. And I'm more than happy to deal with those facts.
We got Billy Moore.
Sounds like a party line in here.
30 seconds.
What else we got here? We got Moon Pie in the chat.
Moon Pie, Kit Kat, Racing Benches.
Rain Donato, always got our back.
Farmer Brook.
Hey, but we should take a moment.
Farmer
to
Brook says,
Alyssa
damn,
Lane.
I got Buffalo
Thanks for,
-12.
Looking out for the chat here. Let's hit the like button. We're going to like for spite. We're going to beat last night.
All right, live from Studio 6B, Real America's Voice on a Thursday night. It's Thursday night shirt night for me, as usual. I wear the same damn shirt every single Thursday because it's the only one that I could find that actually matches the doll that the fine viewer sent us, and it kind of matches as close as I can. I wish I could remember her name who made the doll. I wish she would contact us. Let me know, because I do it every week, and I always forget to ask. Also, we've got Paul Nolan is here. He's got some news he wants to jump into. Vinnie Mac is here as well. Not wearing any Vinnie Mac gear, but he's here. He's got some news he'll jump into.
I have Vinnie Mac underwear on today.
Okay, good. We don't want to see that.
Yeah.
Let's do some sports, though, because Thursday Night Football is on tap. We need a pick. Let's do it.
Odds makers.
Thursday Night Odds Makers. Oh, Slick versus Aaron. Here we go. We got two teams from the AFC East. We're talking about the Buffalo Bills versus the Miami Dolphins up in Buffalo. Slick, who are you going with?
I don't know, but I mean, Miami's moving the ball. They're already at the Buffalo 40. I got to think about this pick now. Just underway the game. But I'm going to go with the Bills. 98% of the people in the ESPN poll feel that the Bills are going to win, which that doesn't mean they're going to cover, right? But it does mean they're going to win. But that's such an astounding number there. I'm going to go with Buffalo. I think McDaniel's there. I think he's getting towards the end of his time there with Miami. Tua Tagovailoa and Tyreek, they can't seem to connect as of late, although they made a nice little catch there for 10 yards. I really think that the reigning MVP, Josh Allen, is on a mission. This team is on a mission. This is a Super Bowl team, the Buffalo Bills in the AFC. I really don't see anybody really giving them a hard time, especially with Kansas City slipping a little bit now. So I'm going to go with Buffalo to ride it. Miami may score, make it interesting early, but I think Buffalo pulls away, wins by at least 2 touchdowns.
All right, very good. Aaron in the booth. Who are you going with?
I'm going with Slick on this one. I'm going to take the Bills over the Dolphins. They've looked absolutely awful the past 2 weeks. Their defense is horrible, and now having to turn around on a short week against Josh Allen and company up in Buffalo. Not that it makes much of a difference because it's September. I expect Buffalo to go 3-0 here, and I think they're going to roll. Unfortunately, even though I don't want them to, they will.
Yeah, well, you saw that offense firsthand last week at the Jets in Met Life Stadium.
They absolutely filleted my Jets.
Yeah.
And they're going to fillet these Dolphins.
They're a powerful club.
Yep.
All right. Well, there you have it. There are the picks. They're both going with the favorite. They're going with Buffalo Bills. So we'll see how that rolls as we go into the weekend. And remember, tomorrow night, the full-sized odds makers. Well, they'll be picking four or 6 games each. I forget. What are you guys doing?
4 games.
And do we have a viewer?
Yes, we do.
And what is that viewer's name?
Our very own Farmer Brook.
Oh, Brook is coming.
Farmer
Finally
Brook.
making his appearance this season.
Wow.
Farmer Brook coming in.
All right. Well, Farmer Brook will be returning to the scene of the crimes of his awful picks from last year and see if he can rectify things. Maybe a little cleanup on aisle. He stinks.
Hey, he's been picking very well so far. He's been sending me his picks every week since preseason, and he has a winning record.
Yeah, he had to qualify this year. Remember, he had he needed to hit a certain number.
Preseason don't count. Though.
No, but he's been sending me his picks every week, and I've been looking. He's been doing pretty good.
All right.
It counted for him.
Been looking. He's been cooking.
He said he did take. I think he said he took.
He took the Bills today.
Buffalo when they were at minus 12.5, I think.
Yeah. Well, Miami's on the move. They're inside the 10 here, so they're making a move. But even if they score a touchdown early, it's not going to make a difference.
All right. You heard it from Slick. Let's do some sports with Slick Rick. Slick Rick Sports brought to you by Mike Lindell's MyPillow. Go to MyPillow.com. Use our code LFS6B at checkout. Slick, what do you got for us other than Thursday Night Football?
Well, before I get to scores, some big news for Dodgers fans. Clayton Kershaw announces big news about his career. After a legendary run with the Dodgers, Clayton Kershaw is calling it a career. The Dodgers announced Thursday that Kershaw will retire at the end of the current season. He will make his final regular season start at Dodger Stadium on Friday. Obviously, the Dodgers are in first place in the West. They will be in the playoffs. Most likely, they'll, too, make a deep run. They're similar to, like, Buffalo, probably a favorite. Kershaw's announcement does not necessarily come as a huge surprise. The 37-year-old has essentially handled his future on a year-to-year basis for the past several seasons, but made it pretty clear he would not play for any franchise other than the Dodgers. I always like to see that. Very old school. An 11-time All-Star, 3-time Cy Young Award winner, and 2014 NL MVP, Kershaw is a surefire Hall of Famer, likely first ballot once he becomes eligible in 6 years. Career record of 222 wins, 96 losses, and a lifetime regular season ERA of 2.54, which is absolutely excellent.
He's a stud.
Today's loaded baseball era, right? Yeah. Despite his age and health concerns, Kershaw managed to be a major contributor to the Dodgers in 2025. He enters his next start tomorrow night with an ERA of 3.53 in 20 starts, and he also notched his 3,000th career strikeout earlier this season. Another big milestone for any major league pitcher. So first ballot Hall of Fame career. I didn't realize how, he got old so quick. He was a young stud pitcher, one of the best, in the last 10 years. How many years is he in the league? 11 years.
That's
right?
it? Just 11?
That's what they said. The 11th season. Yeah.
Wow.
I know.
Feels like he's been around long.
11. Well, no, sorry. 11-time All-Star. So he's in the league now. I'm going to say no. He's got to be 2014. So that's how many right there.
That's 11.
Yeah, that's
it's
11.
The playoffs that hurt him.
No.
So he's probably in the league 15 years.
The playoffs is where he didn't fully deliver. He had these great seasons,
but the Dodgers did win a World Series in the last. During COVID, they won. Yeah, and they won last year. So he got them there. Let's put it that way. I mean, you got to give him that credit for sure.
What a career!
He's one of the best in Major League history. Absolutely. I mean, he didn't get to 300 wins, which is another big milestone.
Which is a huge one, and to fall 80 wins short. That's a lot. That's a lot of wins. That's a lot of starts you have to make to get your 80 wins.
Right? Didn't he always play? Wasn't he? You never really talked about him missing games, right? Didn't he have a rubber arm?
I don't follow LA that closely, but I would think that he was pretty healthy.
Anymore, and they we're all mostly prima donnas. I would take the time right now and I would look up innings pitched every year for his career. But again, like I said, I've given up on Major League sports for the most part. I just don't care anymore.
No, I hear you. So that's
I do it for a living, so I have to care.
You got anything else there?
Yes, I do. Concerning reports emerge about Capital star Alexander Ovechkin's health. As you know, preseason is getting ready for the NHL. This is Ted Goldberg of Yardbarker. The Washington Capitals began their first day of training camp with an injury scare as star left winger Alexander Ovechkin left practice early with a lower bodily injury. It wasn't immediately clear if the injury affected the same leg that Ovechkin broke last year when a fractured fibula cost the Capitals captain 16 games. The injury was not severe enough to restrict Ovechkin from speaking to reporters following Thursday's practice. Per NHL's.com's Tom Gallitti, Ovechkin sounded unconcerned about his lower bodily injury, but he added that the Capitals captain might not skate on Friday when training camp resumes. Now remember, he just turned 40 this week, Ovechkin, which is amazing. Right. And obviously, he broke the all-time NHL scoring record by Wayne Gretzky. I don't think anybody in this lifetime is going to beat the assist record for the total points. That's never going to happen. I mean, Gretzky used to get credited for assists when he was pulling up in the parking lot, checking in security. We remember that.
They didn't even play that.
They used to give out a third and fourth assist. Listen, I was there. I know. But yeah, good stuff. But so we wish him well. I'd love to see the guy come out at 40 and have another good year. Not that we're Washington fans, boys, because we don't want them doing too well. But and that's a wrap in sports. I'll get to the scores a little bit later. We got the pennant race cooking, and I'll break that down for you, too. Who's alive in the wild card and who's on the way out.
All right, very good. And again, Slick Rick Sports brought to you by Mike Lindell's MyPillow. Go to MyPillow.com. Use our code LFS6B at checkout. Just a little update for you on Clayton Kershaw, selected number 7 as the number 7 overall pick in the 2006 draft. At a high school, he played 18 seasons.
18 years. Wow.
So it was 18 seasons.
11-time All-Star.
11-time All-Star, 18 seasons. A couple injuries worked in there, which robbed him of some starts and some wins, I'm sure.
Which makes sense, right? 37, so he probably started when he was 20.
But to hit 3,000 strikeouts is huge.
Huge. And, I mean, not that he played for a bad organization either.
Right. And he's always on the Dodger mound. They say the Dodgers have the most pitcher-friendly mound in all of history of baseball.
That's true. So just ask Don Drysdale.
Let's not give him as much credit. He's no Doc Gooden.
So there you go. All right, we'll take a quick break. Come back. We'll jump into some of the breaking news, some of the news that we've been talking about throughout the day, some of the things you may have seen throughout the day as well. We've got that UFO stuff. I promised last night I am going to do it tonight. No one can stop me. Not even if you're a little green guy. All right? We'll take a break. We'll come back more live from Studio 6B. Real America's Voice. Stay there.
He talked good about Charlie. He was questioning
chat live in the chat
after him, I think, right? He came out after Jimmy Kimmel. I saw that story.
Got the YouTube?
Jimmy Kimmel, where was the joke? You're a late night host. And obviously that has a comedic attachment.
Yeah, he schooled him for that.
Where was the joke? Obviously it wasn't anything.
There was no joke.
Yep. The joke was his career. That was the joke.
That's the shocking thing of all of it. Like, usually there's a little punchline. I mean, he had nothing.
There was none.
Zero.
It was just straight lie and
Jimmy
hate.
Kimmel.
This is the thing. This is the difference of free speech and a free market. The free market thinks you suck, bro. You're a horse's ass. Nobody cares. You're not cool. You're a hypocrite. You're a clown. And you think it's because you're a victim? You're not a victim. You're a tool bag.
Well, he's going to play the victim big time, but he's also in that insulated L.A.
bubble.
Bubble! My God, it's like a cult brainwashed to think some way, and you watch him, and you're like, "What happened to you and Corolla? You guys used to be funny."
And Corolla's still funny.
And
Corolla's great.
Did you see Patton Oswalt came out in defense of him? If you're Jimmy Kimmel and Patton Oswalt is standing up, you're like, "Shut up! I don't want anyone to know we're friends, you pedophile." You know, Oswald's got some reputation around Hollywood about being an A1 creeper, like an absolute predator. That's like everybody talks about him in Hollywood being just rock bottom guy.
A creep.
YouTube chat, Stormy Sky. Please do UFO stuff. Love the little green guys. Pretty cute there.
You got plenty of them here.
Yeah.
Hey, stop talking about Slick like that. He's wearing pink tonight.
I wear green now and then. I like green.
Yeah, he's wearing pink. Let's all be careful.
I like green.
Hey, Miami's up 7-0, Slick.
Well, like I said, they might go down the field.
Very exciting. I don't know why the NFL does nothing for me.
Bro, wow. Catch that.
Almost catch.
Got to catch that.
Oh, they got the flag up.
Chat live in the chat.
I want Josh Allen to win a Super Bowl.
Me too.
So how do you order an English muffin in England? Do you order an English muffin? Or is it just muffin?
Muffin.
But it's like
when you go to China. Do you order Chinese food or just food?
How about French toast in France? Is it just toast? I mean, yeah. But the China reference, it's a good one. You just want food.
I just want food.
Yeah, not Chinese.
What you guys call food? I would like that. Please fill my plate with it.
What do you want today?
And they come back with.
Studio 6B, Real America's Voice on a Thursday night. Welcome back to the program. Also listening to us live in your car, on your computer at linewsradio.com or 103.9 LI News Radio. In the Long Island, Nassau County, I guess at night you can get us in Connecticut as well. It might carry across the water. You can sometimes I picked up stations like Long Island stations in Florida at certain times of night. It's the craziest thing.
Yeah.
So you never know where that signal could end up. But we'll talk about that kind of stuff later. In the meantime, I think the big
Bermuda Triangle.
What we were kind of
virtue signaling.
Some of the guys were talking about in the break, and we talked about it last night, and the story continues to grow. Talking about Jimmy Kimmel being ripped off the air. Basically, because of his comments regarding Charlie Kirk, And it's gaining more and more. You see everybody on the left coming out, having their say. Oh my goodness, this is fascism. This is authoritarian. This is how this all happens. Yes, this is how it all happens. We watched it happen in 2021 when anybody who tried to say anything about a virus or a vaccine was simultaneously shut down. We saw it happen. You're right. Welcome to the party, pal. Where you been?
Yeah, I go to Roseanne Barr on this one.
Yeah, Roseanne Barr, another great example.
The hottest TV star at the time.
Canceled.
It canceled over something that she said.
Go to President Trump. Canceled.
Yes.
Trump was canceled.
canceled. Yeah.
It's true. He was taken, and Jimmy Kimmel mocked all of them. Mocked Roseanne. He mocked President Trump. All of President Trump's followers, anybody who said, I'm having second thoughts about this vaccine, he thought those people should die. Not a joke in there.
Not a joke in there.
He did.
Not a joke in there.
I saw the clip today. I mean, it's an outrageous clip.
Yep.
You know what the left doesn't understand, and I was, by the way, Rick, you could probably appreciate this. I had several battles today over the Jimmy Kimmel canceling.
Really? Nice. People are in support of him.
Many of my liberal friends. And the first things first. They claim Trump did this, okay? Trump did not do this. Just for anybody out there who's still even thinking those things, Trump did not do this. They're claiming because of this FCC thing. Here's how it really works. How's that a business really works? ABC is a network that's over the airwaves. That's a spectrum that is, the public owns that. They have to go through the FCC to get approval. It's pretty simple. But in this case, their stations are distributed through Nexstar and several others. Those distributors, they carry the show. And if they're not happy about any programming, they'll not carry it anymore. That's what happened here. Kimmel crossed the line. And he's crossed the line a number of times. And the affiliates basically said, this is not good for our business.
And Vin,
end of story.
Isn't it fair to say that they were looking for an excuse to get rid of him anyhow? I mean, his ratings were worse than Colbert, and they wanted to get rid of Colbert.
Economically, he and Colbert are so underwater. And Kimmel's ratings, by the way, are the lowest in 10 years. He has, I think, 1.1 million people watch that show.
Right.
Collectively, the Colbert, Kimmel, and Fallon, Carson had better ratings, and so did Jay Leno, than all three combined.
It's out.
Right.
All three combined. That's how bad they are.
So the landscape, they actually help change the landscape where nobody watches late night TV.
That's true.
I did not know that.
For a lot of reasons. There's other reasons.
There's a lot of reasons. You're right.
I mean, you got so many streams now. People go home, they watch Netflix.
I understand that.
YouTube.
But if they were still great, if they were doing great at what they did, people would watch.
Exactly.
That's the bottom line. And Vin makes a good point. He talks about the distributors, but it also comes down to the advertisers. Being that I've had some experience in this losing advertisers thing, if you make your company enough money, they will forgive anything.
Oh, absolutely.
Why? Because it's about the bottom line.
It's a business.
Right. It's a business. Look at Howard Stern. Yeah. Look, of course, he's degenerated to basically nothing at this point. But at his height, at his strength, he could say whatever he wanted and get away with it because he knew the advertisers weren't going anywhere. And his company knew the advertisers weren't going anywhere. Because that is the bottom line. If they can't make money on you, then you're not worth anything to them.
Let me jump into that for a second, because this relates to us, by the way, and our own network in general. So the advertisers do drive the ball. So the distributors who distribute the show do it so they make money on the advertising. The advertising's not coming in, boom. So that's one piece. All these hysterical liberals out there talking about Trump, the FCC. Let me give you a quick education. Blacklisted all conservative networks by the ad agencies and the procurers of advertising, these pipes. Now it's all done electronically and digitally, so you're in these systems. The conservative networks are blacklisted. If you go watch, for example, Fox or Newsmax or Real America's Voice or any of the networks out there that do conservative content, and they'll go turn on CNN or MSNBC and look at the ads. Look at who's advertising on those networks. Right. They have used reverse here. Kimmel gets canceled because he's doing terribly, and he said something that was terrible. We are trying to survive here, and in order to survive, we need ad revenue. In order to make this work, it's a business that needs, to be fed that way. Yet they have, the Biden administration did this, by the way. Obama started it, but Biden finished it. They have blacklisted these conservative networks for real. And that is one of the reasons they're trying to shut us all up.
Right.
So we're not doing that to Kimmel.
As a matter of fact, Elon Musk was also going after that group that was put together to strictly, like you were just describing,
he was a victim.
Blacklist, right? Because he was a victim because they used it on him, and once he bought X, they didn't like that, so they went after his advertisers, and that's how they did it. They did it as a collective. You notice it's a collective. Where have we heard that before?
Yeah.
But anyhow,
exactly.
You talk about all the people that have come out. Here is, you know what? We had the ass clown on yesterday, and he got blasted by Kash Patel, but he's back today.
Kash is my hero,
he's
man.
Back. Here no, not Kash. I'm talking about the guy who got his ass blasted. I'm talking about Representative Eric Swalwell from California.
I got this one too.
Check it out. This is cut number 1.
Yep. Chinese spy for 500, please.
Help clown himself, Eric Swalwell. Check it.
Congressman, I see you are wearing a hat. What does that hat say?
You're damn right I am, John.
Yeah.
I was a guest on the Jimmy Kimmel show. He every night has a right to come into any house that wants to watch and entertain Americans, just as Greg Gutfeld on Fox has a right to be not funny and go on his network and entertain Americans. It's a part of who we are, John, and frankly, it should shake every American that the President of the United States is out there firing comedians who make fun of him. That is not who we are, and every American should care and stand up to this.
Yeah,
This guy
and
can't
of course,
stop lying. It's just absolutely.
Where's this reporter?
reprehensible.
Like, it's obvious that's not the case. And what he just said was a blatant lie. Where's the reporter not questioning him on this thing?
It's the narrative.
It's typical.
You've seen it before.
No, I know.
It's like they go into it like they have their sales pitch meeting going in. All right, how are we going to sell this BS? All right, you want me to play it straight? You want me to pump it up? It really looks like they're trying to sell a sham wow.
Yeah. And he's doing a terrible job because he stinks.
Yeah.
Speaking of somebody else who stinks, Scott Jennings over at CNN, he doesn't stink, but he does level this journalism professor named Jeff Jarvis as they talk about the Jimmy Kimmel thing. Check this out. This is cut number 2, and just pay attention because it's a good one. Cut 2.
You use the phrase propaganda, Professor, and I just have to ask you, what do you consider what Jimmy Kimmel was doing every night, or what Stephen Colbert was doing by having on only Democratic guests? Jimmy Kimmel Monday night flat lied about the shooter. Back in the spring, he egged his audience on in cheering on the violence against and wanting, kind of wishing, I think, the downfall of a publicly traded company, Tesla. Do you consider that to be propaganda? Is it good for a business?
Do you consider that
to
to be free
engage?
speech, Scott?
You use the phrase propaganda.
I'm asking you. You used the words free speech before. Do you consider that free speech?
I consider it to be speech, and he's obviously free to say it.
Will you defend that speech in this country that will defend to the death the speech of others? Will you defend?
Pause it there for a second.
Can I just jump in 1 second?
Because you may have the same point that I do.
Then go for it.
No, go.
So you see what the professor did there?
Yeah.
He asked a question, and what does he do? Because he knows he's cornered, he asks a question. That's what they teach you in boarding school or prep school. That's what they teach you in debate clubs.
Debate school.
Go on the offense.
It's because they know they're cornered. If he was remotely honest, he would have said the answer, and then he would have then passed it back with the same question, which is a valid question, but it's not valid when you use it as deflection.
But this isn't about free speech.
This is not about free speech. This is about free markets.
All these lefties don't understand this. If I made a movie and I had dialogue in there that the guy investing in it or the market didn't want, I'd have to take it out. If you have a TV show and you're saying things that are inappropriate or whatever, it would be taken out. It's not free speech. Right. It's a business. If you're in your job and you go tell your boss to go to hell, that's not free speech.
No, it is free.
That is free speech, but you get fired.
See,
but you have the free right to consequences.
Right. But also, when you're talking about free speech, and this is where this is what I caught from the journalism professor. I wasn't sure if you caught it too, is that he says, do you believe that this is free speech? Or do you defend his free speech? And it's like, well, yeah, I defend his right to say it, and he doesn't go there. But I saw where the potential was. Where I'll defend your right to Jimmy Kimmel. I'll defend his right to say what he wants. I won't defend what he said. That's the difference. But I'll defend his right to say it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Of course,
right, and that's where this professor tries to go and squeeze himself through, and I don't think.
To Vin's point, Vin, you made it very clear. This is about business. This is about the free market making demands. And look no further than the influence of Chinese Communist Party in Hollywood, making sure that scripts are rewritten in a way that does not reflect badly on the CCP. So, because why? Because they fund these projects with massive amounts of money to propagandize our citizens. Yeah. That's all part of this ridiculous, the ridiculous structure of mainstream TV and media.
And I'll give you two examples. John Cena, when he kowtowed to China, and Tom Cruise, when he didn't kowtow and put that Taiwan patch on his flight jacket for the movie Top Gun 2. Aaron, let's finish up this clip while we still have time.
Do I defend Jimmy Kimmel going on television and saying that a shooter from the left...
right to do so.
He has a right to do so, but he does not have a right to have a television show where he lies his ass off to the American people and attacks half this country on a nightly basis.
Whoa. Hold on.
Scott, I'm not going to tell you anything you don't know here. You sometimes offend people. I hear about it on the socials. Do you think that you should then be held to the same standard that you're asking for? That if someone says that you're offensive, that you're not doing the civic discourse, that CNN should kick you off? I'm not worried about you and that happening to you in the present regime, but I am worried about other people in this building.
Two things. We don't fall under the same statutory regime. A. B. I expect to get fired every day. This is a tough business. And if I were Jimmy Kimmel, I'm surprised that a guy who once wore blackface and caused large-breasted women to jump on trampolines lasted this long in the media business to begin with. He was long past his sell date, and the fact that he couldn't realize that and was going down this road of partisan hackery, being unfunny and demonizing.
Yeah. So there you go.
Scott Jennings the best.
Scott Jennings killing it.
He is fantastic.
Yeah. So there you have it. Scott Jennings laying waste to the professor as he tries to get him. Well, would you defend this? Yeah, you have the right to say it, but it doesn't mean I have to defend what you say. There's a difference. It's always in the words. Kash Patel found that out yesterday, unfortunately.
And there's a difference between over-the-airways TV and cable.
Yes, big difference.
Big difference.
And Jimmy Kimmel's more than happy or more than welcome to go do what Tucker did and start his own.
Yeah, exactly. Brian did it too.
Right, what did the market say? Tucker's great. Yep. #1 podcaster in the world.
Exactly. All right, we'll be back live from Studio 6B, Real America's Voice, and Long Island News Radio 103.9. Stay there.
Does.
Are you going to be there?
He'll be talking it up tomorrow night when we see him.
Chat live in the chat. Is
Sherry
Merrill be there? That's the question.
We did get the T-shirt, Sherry Merrill.
Freedom.
Rick and I were arguing over the medium and the large.
The schmedium.
Yeah. He claims he's a medium.
Yeah. Rick covered his car with Damon's shirt till he gets back.
Yeah. We made a full gown out of Damon's shirt.
I could cover both of our cars with Damon's shirt.
You can make a wedding party, a wedding gown and a party of 5 with that shirt.
I got a 3-ring circus parking there.
So she was asking if we got them, and I'm to letting her know we got them.
Oh, we're going to wear them, right? We're going to wear them?
Yeah. We're going to wear them. Yeah, wear them tomorrow night.
Yeah, tomorrow night.
Might be a little, light on me because I'm a medium. Okay, make a note of that.
Hey, Rick, in the Rumble chat, Nassie 1993 says she made the doll, Melissa Nassie.
Oh,
Melissa Nassie.
Let me find it.
That was good, friend.
When we get back, I want to talk about free speech again for a minute, okay?
Yeah.
Keep your mouth shut.
You better come to me. I'm just going to jump in. He's working it.
All right. Who was? What'd you say, Frank? Because these guys were too busy free speeching in my ear.
Yeah, they do that. Melissa Nassie.
Melissa Nassie.
It was Nassie, I think. Where was the number? Oh, it went past me.
Nassie.
1993, I believe.
Thank you. And we got Les Durham in the YouTube.
Melissa, thank you so much. I love this thing. Everybody thinks it looks like me, especially when I wear this shirt.
He's got a little too much hair, though. Les Durham, $5 in the super chat. Right. I enjoy LFS 6B chat, Patriots, and Slick Rick, and Rick Delgado, and Papa Nolan, and Vinny, and Aaron, and Fran.
How you doing?
Les Durham. Very nice.
What? That's right, Aaron. Come on, Aaron.
UFO stories coming up at the top of the hour.
What?
UFO stories coming up at the top of the hour.
Oh, I'll wait for 9:30.
Oh, man. Inquiring minds want to know.
Being asked why Jessamine Crockett is still in Congress, and the reason is they haven't redistricted Texas yet. But I believe her seat is one of the ones that might get cut out, which would be wonderful. We're going to have a big party.
She is down on her stupidity.
Oh, I got more of her stupidity.
Oh, my God. You're not a criminal if you commit a crime. What?
She's priceless. Yeah, I wonder what her take was on Jimmy Kimmel. No, we'll spare us.
Oh, she had one.
Oh, I figured
it was pretty brutal.
Yeah?
Yeah.
But it was actually...
Live from Studio 6B, Real America's Voice on a Thursday night. Welcome back to the program. Slick Rick has got sports. We'll do that in just a few moments. We've got an update on the Thursday night odds makers Bills-Dolphins game going on in Buffalo right now. Paul Nolan is here. Of course, he's got some news. But Vinnie Mac is here. He wanted to continue with the he had some more thoughts on the free speech debate that we were having last segment. Vin, what else did you want to make sure that people know about?
Well, so we covered the idea of free speech within a business. So a business does, you don't have the same freedom that you would just as an individual. Jimmy Kimmel can say anything he wants right now. Anything. His free speech is not restricted. However, he worked for a company, and what you say has consequences. The thing about free speech that really got me thinking today, as I really was trying to dive into this whole subject, we have freedom of speech, except you can't yell fire in a crowded room, right? That's one of the big...
crowded movie theater.
A crowded movie theater.
It's a myth, but essentially you're not supposed to, but there's...
Well, I think the idea is that...
the idea.
You can say anything you want, but if you say something that puts people in harm's way, that causes violence or something like that, it's not applicable to freedom of speech. That's my understanding of it. And I got to thinking, wouldn't the same thing apply to someone who says President Trump's Hitler? Wouldn't the same thing apply if someone says President Trump's all MAGA are Nazis? They're inciting violence. Hence, Charlie Kirk was assassinated. Okay, you don't have to look any further. Donald Trump was just barely missed being assassinated. But it would seem to me that those types of words that we hear all the time from the left breach the freedom of speech liberties we have here, because they are inciting violence. They're saying something that provokes someone to make a violent act, like saying fire in a crowded movie theater or something like that. I think they are straddling a line that's not legal, at least in my view. Well, I'm just curious what you guys think about that, because I started pondering that today, and I'm like, well, why can they say that? That is dangerous.
Well, as a free speech absolutist, I believe that there should be no restriction on what anybody ever wants to say. For me, the only solution is more speech. Two things happen with free speech. One, that nobody becomes the arbiter of what they like and dislike and then gets to tell you what you can and can't say. So that to me is the most important thing, because once you cross that slippery slope, what's going to happen next is someone's going to use it against you. Number two is we get to know who these jackasses are. The more these morons have a mic in front of them, like yours truly, and the more they say...
Are you calling yourself something?
The more they say, the more we know who they are, where they stand, and what they're about. For me, Ilhan Omar is a perfect example. I don't want her speech stifled. I want her to be in front of a mic 24/7, because everyone who's on the fence or didn't really know what she's really about are really understanding. From this point forward, she's a psychopath. She has no business. She's a CIA creation, and every time she is on a mic, she's out above her skis, and she proves herself to be a complete moron. So for me, I don't want anybody restricting any speech on any subject ever, even if you're a slanderous bastard like Kimmel, because what happened? The market spoke. And when the market speaks, everything takes care of itself.
I think that's fair.
And I equate that to, Paul, what you're saying with the with the gun debate as well. It's like, oh, well, there should be something. No, there shouldn't be any. Because, again, you're trying to equate someone else's reactions to what everybody else is going to do. That seems unfair to me.
Right.
Because let's face it, you can have a gun. I've had a gun in my house for years. It hasn't shot one person.
Right. I mean,
you know why? Because there's a common denominator. Whenever a gun goes off, there's usually a person attached to it making that happen.
Usually. They're not AI.
Right. That's the common denominator. It's people, not the device, not the car, not the gun, not the knife, not the hammer, whether it's a Thursday night, what have you. It doesn't matter.
I knew it.
Right?
I knew it was coming.
I can understand the absolutist side of that, though. I think you both make great points, and maybe it was just me getting angry that they're calling ICE agents Gestapo,
right?
And that causes people to take shots at ICE agents and causes danger. To me, that's crossing a line. But I think the absolutist side of it on both of those issues is probably right where it needs to be. I just don't like it.
And what's crazy is that
I'm with you, dude. I hate it.
One supports the other, right? 1 and 2, they kind of support each other.
To me, when I hear somebody telling me that I got to give up my guns because there was a murder from a lunatic, I'm like, all right, so I got to give up my guns because this wacko behaved like a...
Right.
Like, there was just a rape over there. You got to take your wang off. I mean, it's the same correlation.
Yeah.
So anytime there's a rape, everyone's got to lose their... I mean, it's the same exact thing.
Drunk driver just hit someone and killed them.
People are nuts.
Yeah.
I lose my rights because your constituent's psychopath?
That's how the left works. It's all about a socialist view of everything, and it's got to be, everybody. It's not individualistic like it is supposed to be in this country.
Let's punish the group for the actions of one or just a few.
And at the end of the day, these are just talking points. They don't really care or believe in anything. They just believe in the talking point of the moment.
Right.
And look at Swalwell, the Chinese spy lover. He should have had a hat that said, "I love Chinese spies," because that's what he really did. He's out there blaming Donald Trump for Jimmy Kimmel getting fired, which we all know is ridiculous. But this is, I think you brought that up, Paul, the talking point that they all huddled up on. And a memo came out and said, CNN, this is what we're going to say. And they all go for that.
The 3 a.m. memo goes.
That is
like the love story between the trans Bob and the shooter.
Mm-hmm.
Their romantic, ridiculous, scripted.
That guy had to take it back, man.
It was so touching.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
I'm touched by the relationship.
So am I. I'm touched by everything.
Yeah, it should be a lifetime special.
Speaking of touching, let's touch Slick Rick in sports and see what he's got going on. Slick Rick Sports brought to you by Mike Lindell's MyPillow. Go to mypillow.com. Use our code LFS6B at checkout, and you'll be touching some great stuff from Mike Lindell and the people at MyPillow. Slick, what do you got for us?
All right, well, let's get to that Monday Night Football game in Orchard Park, Buffalo right now. Tied at 7, but Buffalo is on the move. Looks like they're going to be going in for another score shortly. Right now, Josh Allen, 6 of 7, 59 yards, having a pretty good game there. Kincaid, the tight end, just missed one right in his breadbasket there for a touchdown, but I think they're going to go up 14-7 here before we get to the half. Just about, what are we, just 12 minutes, 3 minutes gone in the second quarter. So looking good there. Let me get to some baseball scores too. Obviously, playoffs heading up now. We got 10 games left in the season. The Reds are still in it. They are right now 2.5 games out of the last wild card spot, trailing the Mets, who own the last wild card spot. 1-0. They are leading the Cubs in the top of the 8th. Bottom 6, Yankees are up 3-0. Yankees are in the number 1 position in the AL wild card right now, 2.5 games up. They're leading 3-0 over the Orioles, bottom of the 6th. Every game very important here. Angels 2-1 over the Brewers, end of 6. Brewers have already clinched the division in the NL Central, and they're on to the playoffs. Guardians 3-1 over the Tigers. Guardians also still alive, 1.5 games out of the last wild card spot in the AL that is held by Boston. Mets have won 6-1, important game for them to secure their third and final spot in the wild card. Rays over the Blue Jays 4-0, not playing for much there. Red Sox trail the Athletics 5-3. Boston again with the last wild card spot needed that win, but unfortunately they slipped, so Cleveland was able to pick a little bit up there. Mariners over the Royals 2-0. Marlins 9-7 over the Rockies. Giants, we talked about Kershaw earlier. Well, they're playing the Dodgers Dodgers. Kershaw's pitching tomorrow night, though. 10-10 first pitch. Dodgers are already in as well. They're looking good. They lead the NL West. And that's pretty much it for this segment, Rick. That's what I have for you. So 14-7 Buffalo has just gone up here.
Score update.
There we go. The old flip there. Josh Allen. I couldn't see who caught that, but that was a touchdown. 14-7 Buffalo leading. Looking good, Aaron.
I've always liked Buffalo, by the way.
So there you have it.
Yeah,
Slick
me
Rick
too.
Sports brought to you by Mike Lindell's MyPillow. Go to mypillow.com. Use our code LFS6B at checkout. And when we get back, Paul Nolan and Vinnie Mac got some stuff. We'll get into that in just a little bit. In the meantime, fast. Again, it happened again.
Where'd the time go?
Hour 1.
Very fast.
Really?
On a Thursday night.
So much fun with Damon's not here.
I did not know that.
Just kidding, Damon.
Where's Damon?
Watch it. He's gonna smash me he's gonna hit me on top of the head and break both of my legs.
He's watching in the closet of the hotel. Wherever he is.
I put him in my trunk.
All right, we'll take a quick break. We come back. More live from Studio 6B, Real America's Voice. 103.9 LI News Radio. Stay there.
In honor of our leader.
You know, it's like that's just that's completely uncalled for, and I love it.
That's a good one. Hello.
Jeez Louise.
I was talking in it with an English accent all day, just watching the whole thing. It was great.
I'm so lost. I thought it was Monday night.
Oh, jeez.
Thursday night football, not my glittery goddess. Rick, I think you meant Thursday night football, and you are right, glittery goddess. I did mean Thursday night football. I did not mean that. So,
you know what Danielle Marie says in his free speech thing, Rick, is that so people are canceled by saying the N-word, but people can call everything Hitler and Nazi, right? Probably the most
Nazi's the N-word too, right?
Well, yeah,
Let's be
but
honest.
not the same way.
It is.
Think about that's such a great statement, and it's so true, and it's so hypocritical. You know, the N-word, which is horrible. I don't want to advise anybody to use it. No, well, no, there's no reason to say it, but the double standard's right out there, pretty clear. You know.
I'll let you climb that hill alone.
I'm not climbing. I'm really just making an observation of hypocrisy, which is very easy to do with the left.
In the break.
Astrotech says Nazi is my N-word. All right.
Okay.
Ooh, what was her name? Bang Bang Shrimp or something? KT Frog. I think he's talking about Swalwell.
I am not.
No, it was Fang Fang, not Bang Bang. Not Bang Bang Shrimp. It was Fang Fang.
People are screaming for UFOs here.
It's coming, 9:30.
You told them that last night, too.
No, I know, but then we had to take that Steve Bannon thing.
Yes.
Because he predicted he made the plea about Antifa being designated a terrorist group, and we were able to grab the clip, and we had a pretty good discussion around it.
What did you conclude there? Can we actually ban a domestic organization like that as a terrorist organization?
There are things that they can do. It would have more teeth. I was listening to some lawyers talk about it today. It would have more teeth if Congress actually passed a law.
Oh, yeah, where is that?
Where they can do that, because it'll give it more weight, and they won't be able to just, next administration say, we're not going to do that.
I can do it. I love it. Rick, actually, Lurch in the chat, the YouTube chat, he says, don't let UFO stories go by again tonight. It was so bad he changed his name to Lurch because you left him in a lurch last night.
I left him out there?
You rang. Did you see the Donald Trump?
live from Studio 6B, Real America's Voice on Thursday night, shirt night. Dish Network Channel 219, Pluto TV 240, Samsung TV Plus 1175. Shut up, Slick. Roku TV, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and Select TV Channel 106. Of course, if you're in the chats over on the Rumble with the Rumblers, the YouTubers on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, X, the Twixters, Kick, Getter, Instagram. We appreciate it. Please jump in there. Expand those communities. Great people in all of them. Let's run through some names. If you've got your favorite names or some of the chats up, feel free. Drake99, Dunlap at McGroin, Grateful, Doc Scout.
Pulling my chain.
Yes. The Hoser 56, Hassenpfeffer, of course, Astrotech 2. These are all Rumble people.
Oh, the Rumble.
We hit the like for Spite, please. Can we ask everyone to hit the like?
Yeah, hit the like.
These up. And Rav is really looking out for us over there, over at the, try to build up the YouTube chat. So come on, let's get him some love over there.
Over in the Twix, you got Charles Barkley's Shorts. You got Donita. You got D. Lavaca. Farmer Brook is in there.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder if Farmer Brook is nervous about tonight's game. Also, Skeetsman, Rebecca B. Conserve My Energy, Elsie San Diego, Commander Mike. Just a few of the great people, including Gloria Powers over in the Twix. Slick, how about you over on the YouTubes?
On the YouTubes.
You got anybody on the YouTubes?
We got Dennis Allgood. We got Loretta Bogan. We got Ankh. We got George Pierce Sr. Ted Tala. Moonpie. We got Moonpie. Moonpie's over
Turnpike Man in the house.
Broke Spoke, of course, he's in there as well. The Turnpike Man. Yep, absolutely, Paul. We love Turnpike Man. Brian Belford coming in hot.
Hey. You know what? Who I'm missing?
Bill Moore, too. Bill Moore.
Let's send some love out to Child of the King. We haven't seen her in the chat for a while.
Yes, Child of the King.
And Mikey AZ, we know he's going through some stuff. A couple other people are going through some stuff.
Marianne Mack we have here. Cats B.
Yep. Mike Sands is always around the house.
Ravmod 3 over in the Chatterbaiters on Getter. Don't forget about
Chris
them
Allen.
over there. Linda C. Fletch,
Glittery
1985.
I want to drink beer with Chris Allen.
Got to know Fletch.
Yeah, Fletch 1985 and Damon's Revenge over on Getter. Two of my
all
favorites.
ball bearings.
It's all ball bearings.
Don't forget our Facebook folks, man. We got lots of them out there. Tony Keller, Lisa Prokoska.
Somebody said hi to Damon in the YouTube. Is Damon in here?
He could.
Damon might be out there.
Damon might be Lurch.
Hey, I have a chat question, and it's got to be on a scale of 1 to 10.
All right.
How savage was Donald Trump's tweet about Ilhan Omar today? If you haven't seen it, look it up, check it out. I want to know on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most savage, was this truth that he sent out today, boy? I got to be honest, when I'm reading it, I was laughing my butt off. I thought it was just absolute classic Trump. Absolutely hysterical.
Hey, there is some breaking news I just spotted here. Ray Douglas is mentioning this. University of North Carolina on lockdown 10 minutes ago.
Oh, no.
Let's look into that, see what's going on over there.
Spencer Munchu, we got it, 7.
All right.
Moonpie, 10. Okay, yeah, the 10s are starting to come.
Hey, Vicky Stevens.
So we'll see what happens with that. In the meantime, let's kick it over to Vinnie Mac. Vinnie Mac, what is on your mind, my friend?
Well, I got something that is really, really positive. There's so much good news, and I like to hear good news because Trump is every day, I feel like, who said that last time on the show? Every day feels like Christmas,
Yeah.
It's just crazy. Trump's just killing it. But I saw some really great news. ICE, which, by the way, ICE, I think they came about around after 9/11, right? That's when ICE was formed to arrest terrorists and pedophiles and all these things.
No, not ICE. That was HHS, yeah.
HHS.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about ICE. ICE is out there arresting terrorists. They're out there arresting pedophiles. They're arresting a lot of really bad people. And for some reason, they've been villainized, of course, by the left. But here's something that just opens your eyes to say, what is the rest of the country really thinking? Because they're not thinking what the left tells us they're thinking. I'll tell you what they're thinking. We just got 150,000 more applicants to become ICE agents. 150,000. It's a huge number. I bet you they maybe got 4,000 or 5,000 a year, in the past to become ICE agents. But they have a jaw-dropping amount of applications, people who want to become ICE agents. And what does that say to you as a society? We're fed up. Let's get the illegals out of the country. Let's get the illegal criminals out of the country. Let's get the pedophiles out of the country. They're making arrests left and right to keep us safe. So there's a piece of good news. And if we had nobody wanting to be ICE agents, you might look at it and say, what's wrong? Why come we can't attract people who want to perform that duty? You could make that argument, by the way, if you want to be a police officer in Los Angeles, why the heck would you want to apply for that job with how badly they treat you? Or in Minnesota? Or in New York City to some extent. But I've always had a ton of admiration for people that become firemen, become police officers, do anything in a sort of a public safety thing where they risk their lives every day to keep us safe. And to see these numbers, it's a testament to the Trump administration. It's a testament to what ICE is really doing. But it's more importantly, a testament to how we all really feel about our country, not what we see on the news by most of the mainstream media. So I wanted to call that out. And I also wanted to talk a little bit about what Trump accomplished in the UK, besides the amazing events and the way they treated us, which was spectacular. They made a big deal. They made a big deal, $350 billion deal between the U.S. and U.K. tech companies. Has to do with power and energy consumption and a few other things. The whole idea is based on how do we win the AI war. So we're partnering up with the UK. Tim Cook was out there. I don't know if you guys saw Tim Cook at the dinner, and lots of other high-profile technology folks. I was surprised to see them at the dinner. I'm wondering, what are they all doing there? Now I know. They cut this huge deal. So in addition to all the other deals they cut with the UK for tariffs and so on and so forth, here's $350 billion being allocated for something that is super important to both of our futures. So Trump went there, did the dignitary thing, and then he cuts the deal. Yep. I mean, these are unprecedented things. We're living in unprecedented times with this president. No one's accomplished more than President Trump does in a day. I mean, I feel like his day is their year. Maybe they're 4 years.
Well, he's an unprecedented president in that his business background, he seems to be able to kind of combine both the political and the business just right and be able to, put these deals together while he's doing, state work. So it's a credit to him being able to kind of mix those two worlds together and get these great outcomes.
And he can walk and chew gum at the same time. And when's the last president you saw that can actually do that?
Well, the last one couldn't even walk. So.
Yeah, the last one couldn't. And as much as I loved Ronald Reagan, he was my favorite president, man. And I loved him. I just thought everything good about our country, Ronald Reagan represented. But Trump has kind of taken this to the next level because he's got the Ronald Reagan. I feel prideful. I feel good about the country. And then he's saying, and by the way, here's some gifts. Here's all these tariffs. We're going to pay down the debt. Here's all these business deals. Going to create jobs. It's just a win, 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 win. So I'm thrilled. I want to keep winning.
Yeah, we're not tired of winning yet. Let's hope it continues. Nope. Paul Nolan is here as well. He's got some stuff that he wants to jump into. Of course, Paul Nolan, what do you got, my friend?
So I just want to go through. I've been following a lot of Mike Benz and Andy Ngo and quite a few people who have been really doing a great job of uncovering and tracking the roots of Antifa and how structured, how powerful, and absolutely organized they are. There is now information being exposed that not just Portland's Rose City Antifa and some of their major hubs, that there is now evidence that's starting to come to surface that they were planning full-blown attacks across America to incite civil war. What's also going on right now in the streets of New York City, people who appear to be paid provocateurs. There are a bunch of, I'm just going to say, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this or not, there are a bunch of Antifa-looking people walking down the street of Times Square chanting F Charlie Kirk. And apparently they're all in black garb, and they're all doing what they can to incite riots, to incite violence. Antifa knows that they couldn't win on the issues. They couldn't win by rigging elections. They couldn't win by stuffing ballots. They couldn't win the court of public opinion and sympathy anymore. They knew they were losing at every level. So what they do is they create anarchy and division in the streets. And if you want to check out I'm going to be on top of this as much as I possibly can, doing deep dives on it. And if you don't mind, maybe following me over at X, it's Paul Eggs Nolan. If you could just give me a follow. I try to follow back as anybody who kind of interacts. I just try to follow back. Paul _Eggs Nolan. But Antifa is at large. Antifa is a terrorist organization. Their days are coming to an end. Don't take the bait. Let them do their thing. Let them run their course. They've overplayed their hand, and I don't want to beat this point up too much, but. This is.
What about George Soros in all this? What about Antifa? They have to get money from somewhere, right?
Without a doubt, his NGOs and his Tides Foundation and hundreds of his shell corporations have funneled a ton of this money, and not just that, the USAID money and other scams that have circumvented. Legal channels have been making their way back to these rent-a-riot animals, and like things like. The queers.
The armed queers.
Armed queers, and
and 764.
Yep.
What about the Paul? I'll ask you about this Mike Benz clip. Cut 16. Do you want to play that?
I think it's a perfect time to roll it if you want.
All right, let's go with Cut 16. Here's Mike Benz talking about Antifa, what we were just talking about, and Trantifa as well. Check this out. Cut 16.
You have this State Department Trantifa network. They serve as militant boots on the ground in Europe, in South America, in Asia. And I pointed this out when you're talking about these networks, you even see Republican support for it. I pointed this out in Bangladesh, for example, last year when the Biden administration ousted the democratically elected prime minister in a coup. What was happening was the State Department was funding their little CIA cutout groups like the National Endowment for Democracy. Documents leaked online of the IRI, the International Republican Institute, which is the Republican wing of the National Endowment for Democracy, and their baseline assessment of the situation in Bangladesh and what options could be used by them with State Department money to destabilize the country, to bring it to its knees, because they did not expect to be able to win the next election. And a big part of that destabilization strategy was working with the transgender community in Bangladesh. I mean, this was a Republican Chamber of Commerce operation, and yet you had the Republicans spending millions of dollars on the Bangladeshi transgender community because they could be easily radicalized and serve as the boots on the ground fodder against the democratically elected government in Bangladesh. And so you had them funding transgender dance festivals, transgender education clinics, transgender music and cultural events. You had them juicing the financial funnel of the entire network through all these different philanthropic or arts and cultural style names, but what you're doing is you're paying the people, you're paying the organizers.
Yeah,
it's just unbelievably, it's just so corrupt. I just can't believe this stuff goes on at the level it does, and what we think we know, it's 50 times worse.
Yeah, and what's sickening is that it's coming from us. I love being Team USA, rah rah, let's go country, but we shouldn't be doing that kind of stuff. Around the world.
Republicans attached to it is despicable.
Exactly. That's where the unit party term comes into play, and this is why even today Congress couldn't censure Ilhan Omar. Couldn't do it. Why? Because Republicans voted against it.
3 Republicans. Terrible.
Shame on them.
Unbelievable. All right, we'll take a quick break. We come back, more sports, and more.
The Omar thing is a matter of, she's a CIA creation. She has absolutely, positively no business being in government
anywhere near where she is.
No way. She shouldn't even. I mean, she came here under a lie. She lied in her pathway here. Her brother was her husband, and she should be deported just for that.
Oh, yeah, remember that? Yeah, she did.
Yeah. Linda Dooley corrects me, or at least provides a little criticism, about Ronald Reagan, because I did say, I felt real great pride during the Reagan times. I think I was 18 at the time, maybe 19.
Good days.
But she said 2 things that he did. One is the allowed pharmaceuticals not to be accountable to vaccines.
Yeah, that was the Dole-Bear Act.
Yeah, so that that was not good. And the other is allowing foreigners to come in and buy our land. those two things that she thinks are.
And he also allowed more than one person to own media in a market, which led to the collusion of these mega national gigantic corporations owning everything and kind of controlling all the media. Now, I think the Dole-Bear Act was an innocent mistake. I don't think he was corrupted on that one, but. So anyway,
well, they're fair points, and
nobody was perfect.
I liked Reagan because he made me feel good about being an American. But he might have done some things that maybe we all don't agree with. The vaccine thing, there needs to be accountability coming here, and RFK is on a path to make that happen. So let's just say that's going to get fixed at some point.
Do you guys want me to read Trump's truth about Omar?
Yeah, we can do it after sports.
Do you have any truth serum?
I don't know if I should do it now or. But I want to do the tinfoil hat stuff.
On the air.
Oh, do it on the air.
Yeah, definitely. We're on the break. We only got about 1,000 people watching.
Kathy Brockman says Omar is openly loyal to wherever she's from, Somalia, not the U.S.
Oh, Somalian pirate.
And we see,
beautiful. What could go wrong there?
And we see that with a couple of these people. Who's the Palestinian one?
Khalid.
Yeah, Khalid. They're all.
The CIA does. The CIA does is they pump a person up in that district, and then they import tens of thousands of immigrants of that nationality to change the congressional seat. It's a scam.
I was channeling my inner Damon on this one. I feel stressed. It's not about that. It's could be back taxes. Luckily, I don't suffer from that, but maybe you have. And if you've missed April's deadline or your books are a mess, don't wait a day longer. The IRS is cracking down. Penalties are adding up fast. 5% a month, could be up to 25% if you're not filing, but there is help, and all you've got to do is reach out. Reach out to Tax Network USA. They can take the burden off your shoulders and stop the spiral of those worsening tax burdens before it gets worse. They've helped thousands of Americans, whether you're an employee, small business owner, or haven't filed your books in years. They'll take care of it, no problem. They've seen it all and know exactly how to clean it all up with direct access to the powerful IRS programs and expert negotiators on your side. Tax Network USA knows how to win, and they'll win for you. You'll get a free consultation. If you qualify, they may even reduce or eliminate all the money you owe. Believe it or not, but you got to give them a chance. So reach out to them. More importantly, they'll also help you protect you from wage garnishments or bank levies. So don't wait a moment longer, because this could be happening to you quicker than you think. Don't wait for that next IRS letter. Call 800-908-8000 or visit tnusa.com/RAV to talk to a real expert at Tax Network USA. That's 800-905-8000 or visit tnusa.com. Take the pressure off. Let Tax Network USA handle your tax issues at tnusa.com/RAV, and you'll talk to a real expert at Tax Network USA. Now, I know you realize that there are a lot of different choices when it comes to these things, these little things here. Your cell phone service, and there are new ones popping up all the time. You see the commercials, you see the offers, but here's the truth: there's only one that boldly stands in the gap for every American believes that freedom is worth fighting for. They're called Patriot Mobile. For more than 12 years, Patriot Mobile has been on the front lines fighting for our God-given rights and freedoms, while also providing exceptional nationwide cell phone service with access to all three major networks. Don't take my word for it. Ask the hundreds of thousands of Americans who've made the switch and are now supporting causes they believe in simply by joining Patriot Mobile. Switching is easier than ever. You can activate in minutes from the comfort of your own home. You keep your name, you keep your number, you keep your doctor, you keep your phone. I'm kidding. You keep your number, you keep your phone, or you can upgrade. Patriot Mobile's all U.S.-based support team is standing by to take care of it all. All you got to do is reach out to them, 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-PATRIOT, or go to patriotmobile.com/Trump UK. That's /Trump UK. Use that promo code for a free month of service from Patriot Mobile, patriotmobile.com. All right, let's get a score update in Buffalo as well as do some sports with Slick Rick. Slick Rick Sports brought to you by Mike Lindell's MyPillow. Go to mypillow.com. Slick, what do you got?
Well, Miami just got a little life there right before the half here. 2 minutes to go. 14-7, Buffalo leads. Buffalo was inside the 15 looking to set up for a touchdown. They tried a field goal, and their kicker, Matt Prater, kicked one well south of the equator. He missed the thing clearly. So with that missed field goal, Miami's currently on a six-play, 41-yard drive, and they have the ball at the 41-yard line of Buffalo. So they're knocking on the door. Maybe they're going to get some points before the half is over. The line on this is 11.5. So right now, Buffalo is not covering. They're only up by 7. So
Miami's hanging tough.
Yeah, 14-7, and not surprised, but I still think Buffalo will pull away. They're moving the ball really well. Just a little lack of execution there at the end. And here's somebody who did something great for his sport, also talking about Charlie Kirk, and that's Dana White. Blown away by Charlie Kirk's assassination, says his daughter is destroyed. This is Ryan Morick of Fox News. The sports world continues to be shaken up by the assassination of Charlie Kirk last week. Kirk was shot while debating at Utah Valley University and died of his injuries soon after. Many prominent figures in sports reacted to the news, and in a recent appearance on Logan Paul's podcast, UFC President Dana White shared his thoughts. I just woke up and my phone was blowing up. I was bleeping blown away, White said. As dumbfounded as White was, he said his children also took it hard. I was actually surprised by how impacted my kids were. My kids used to watch him on social media. My daughter, she's 19, she's in college, and she's been just destroyed over this thing for the last couple of days. You have to feel horrible for his family. It's bleeping crazy. You know, he likes to use emphatic words there. The fact that it happened during what he was known for, which was just peaceful debate and conversation, which was a pillar of American virtue, added Paul. This country was built on people having conversation and talking to people maybe you don't always agree with, and hopefully reaching a resolution, or even if not, saying we respectfully, but that's not a lot of the times how progress is made. I'm reading as he was speaking. When you are unable to talk, shoot, and go to violence is just so pathetic, Paul continued. It's so weak, and I think it's actually against everything that was in America. White replied, that's what happens with people who aren't intelligent enough to debate. Paul also said he really respected Kirk for his ability to step into a room and be the person who he said he was. Well, Tyler Robinson, we know, is charged with aggravated assault. But, obviously Dana White has a big audience himself. Mm-hmm. He influences a lot of people. And it's something to see him talk about his 19-year-old daughter in college and the impact that it's had on these young people. And there you see a case of an older guy in Dana White, right? And then his kid. So parents and kids are coming together on the same level with Turning Point USA and Charlie Kirk. I really think now, with his wife being voted in as the CEO now, I think it's going to be an amazing venture that they take, and I really think they're going to take off, and it's going to be something special. I think they're really going to unite a lot of people at all different age levels, which is great.
I read that 54,000 inquiries to start a new chapter.
Wow. Yeah. It was 37 and change on Monday. They've added.
I believe it's up to 50.
It keeps growing. Yeah. I mean, what do they have, like 1,100 or 1,200? And now they've had, 58,000 requests for chapters, like you said, Paul?
Yeah. Just incredible, really. So it's great to see
Charlie effect.
He's going to have such a unifying, he's going to leave such a unifying, legendary, what can I say?
As great
impact.
as that we've all heard he was, and his memory and all the things he did.
Legacy. That's
his legacy. We haven't even scratched the surface of how really impactful this guy was.
I agree.
All those young people that, like the one, you just mentioned. I mean, so many people affected that we really had no idea of that level of effect. We haven't even scratched the surface of really how great this guy was.
And not only that,
31 years old.
And not only that, you think about. Because it's gotten so much attention. I mean, it's everywhere around the world. We've seen the impact. We've seen it on social media. Now it's not only has it taken on its life of its own, kind of exposed. But think about, because those clips are on social media, they're going to be there forever.
Forever.
That's right.
Charlie lives forever.
Think about how kids that maybe they maybe heard the name, but they didn't know what it was about. Yep. And all of a sudden now they're checking it out, and now they're getting sucked in going, oh my goodness.
Yeah, he's a whole history course.
What are they talking
now.
about? This guy, there was nothing wrong with this guy. I agree with this.
And when history looks back and says that he was a racist, misogynist, this, that, or the other thing, and history proves that wrong, they will know they rang the wrong bell, the Democrats and the communists, and the people will never, ever look back at this great awakening, if you will.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, you know what, Aaron? Can you play The People in London? It's a 17-second clip.
Do you know which number it was?
Amazing, right? Amazing.
It's just amazing.
Yeah, and they're talking about 100,000 people descending on Glendale, Arizona, and State Farm Stadium for Sunday's service at 11 a.m. West Coast time. 100,000 people they're expecting. They can hold up to 73,000 in the stadium, and it's already been called out to have the same security as a Super Bowl and the Boston Marathon. It's on that level, that number one level for Homeland Security.
Yeah.
They're going to be deploying a lot of resources because they want a peaceful
it was Jason
and well-protected
Chaffetz
area.
talking today. He was at the event in Utah, and he was just saying Charlie insisted on adversarial people with different views, pushing them to the front.
Yes.
Let's get them in the front.
Yeah.
Let's get them talking.
Just
I want to
debate 'em.
hear them. Don't push them away. You got to love that. I mean, he welcomed that discussion.
He's a hero. He's just...
I can't say enough good things about this guy.
Well, that was the town square, right?
Yeah.
The best.
Bringing it back. All right, so we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll do some more with Paul Nolan, more with Vin. I have the UFO stuff, Slick.
They're waiting. Don't leave them in a lurch.
Speaking of alert, statement is out. He'll be back on Monday. In the meantime, quick break. We'll be back. Stay there. What?
I hope he never gets concussed again. That poor kid, man. So I might as well read it here. Ilhan Omar's country of Somalia is plagued by a lack of central government control, persistent poverty, hunger, resurgent terrorism, piracy, decades of civil war, corruption, and pervasive violence. 70% of the population lives in extreme poverty and widespread food insecurity. Somalia is consistently ranked among the world's most corrupt countries, including bribery, embezzlement, and dysfunctional government. All of this, and Ilhan Omar tells us how to run America. P.S. Wasn't she the one that married her brother in order to gain citizenship? What scum we have in our country telling us what to do and how to do it. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Make America great again.
This public service announcement brought to you by...
That is savage.
And she's brought all of it to Minnesota, by the way.
Yeah.
What? She's brought all of that to Minnesota.
Oh, yeah.
She's right in the heart of the country there.
What's on a scale of 1 to 10?
Talk about a snow job.
Most savage. Where does that rank? Is that a 9? It's got to be at least a 9, right?
That's why we love him, man.
This is great.
He
says
calls
the
him
things
out.
that no one's got the nuts to. Oops.
Now you're in
Guts
between the
to
break.
say.
You can say anything.
It's just hysterical.
We are not on over-the-air Spectrum
Miami.
TV like ABC. We're on
platforms.
We're a platform. We aren't the same regulations there, Paul.
Exactly.
Hey, can I give you guys a quick story? My men's Bible study group, we reconvened on Tuesday, and a young man there, Tommy, worked for TP USA when he was in college. Tommy had a substance abuse and an alcohol problem, and Charlie always, no matter how busy he was, would always, hey, Tommy, how you doing? Can I pray for you? How's it going? Never not encouraging him. No matter how busy Charlie was. This kid's telling the story, and he's so choked up.
Oh.
And, like, he's just, this kid is real. You can't not be so proud of this kid. He's 26 now, and he just said that the way he talked about Charlie on a human level, how he treated him, he's like, I couldn't believe he remembered my name, let alone remembered everything that was going on in my life. He said, every time he walked in the room, you were thinking that you were looking at a future president. Everyone just talked about he had such a larger-than-life charisma. Yeah. It was impossible not to be drawn to him. Yeah. I thought it was a really awesome
He
story.
had a charm, a way of speaking. He was brilliant. He just had so many great qualities, that commanded respect.
Yep. One of a kind.
And attention. Really was one of a kind. You're right.
Charlie
Hopefully
Kirk
there's
Act.
more.
The Smith-Mundt Act, the Charlie Kirk Act.
Live from Studio 6B, Real America's Voice on a Thursday night. Also, you're listening to us on your car radio. It's 103.9 LI News Radio, or on your computer, linewsradio.com. We appreciate it. Also, everybody in the chats, thank you. We appreciate it. I know Paul just threw out a survey, a little chat line survey, because he read Ilhan Omar's quote. President Trump's truth about Ilhan Omar. And on a scale of 1 to 10, how savage do you think that was? I especially enjoyed the last line. P.S. Wasn't she the one who married her brother in order to gain citizenship? What scum do we have in this country telling us what to do and how to do it? Thank you for your attention to this matter. Make America great again.
Hysterical.
That's a great question.
It was a long flight.
Yes.
I love it.
And a great P.S.
She is just the worst of the worst.
Yeah. Between her and the other ones, yikes. Just a disaster when you think about it. Hey,
UFOs or what?
I think it's about time because, let's face it, it happened last week after the events of last week. It's tough to focus on anything but what unfolded not only on the 10th but on the 11th. But last week on the 9th and the 10th, the Congressional Oversight Panel signaled it was taking the UFO stuff seriously during a hearing that included a group of whistleblowers, a video showing a missile bouncing off a flying orb, and demands for transparency. The chair of the House Oversight Committee and Government Reform Subcommittee, being chaired by Representative Anna Paulina Luna from Florida, began the nearly 3-hour hearing on identified anomalous phenomena, also known as UFOs, by saying it was past the time to acknowledge their seriousness. We're talking about others that were involved in this hearing, including Nancy Mace, Tim Burchett, one of our favorites. You had a bunch of Congress members involved asking questions. The Florida Republican, I'm talking about Anna Paulina Luna, said this is not science fiction or creating speculation. This is about national security, government accountability, and the American people's right to know. More than 700 reports of UAPs were made to the Pentagon in 2023 alone. The same year, the Congress held a hearing where members alleged a government cover-up, but despite more reports of UAPs and more official acknowledgement of strange events in the sky, just look back to November and December with the all those drones flying over New Jersey. Nobody's ever been able to answer it.
Yeah.
Committee members expressed concern that federal authorities are suppressing information and that military whistleblowers are remaining silent over fears of ending their careers or ending their lives. Believe it or not, we've got I got a few clips here.
Great.
What's the big story here, though? Like, what happened? Was there a sighting of some kind?
There's one particular, one particular new piece of video that was released, and it revolves around these flying orbs. That seem to be the big. It's not the saucers these days. Now it's a flying orb. They don't know what the hell these things are, and there's one being tracked and gets shot at by the U.S. military and
dodged the missile.
It didn't dodge the missile; it deflected it.
Oh, it deflected it.
It deflected the missile, and then the orb broke off 3 pieces, which continued to follow the orb.
Let's let it
and fly in formation. Cut 15. Check out this video.
Are you aware of anything in the government, United States government arsenal that can
see that white thing that comes off from the side? Boom!
And
that hits.
Do whatever blob thing it did, and then keep going.
Coming in
Nothing?
from the side.
All right. How about you, Chief Wiggins?
And it deflects off.
Oh wow!
Now,
nothing to my knowledge.
When they enhance
okay.
it,
And how
see
about you,
there's
Mr.
3 little
Borland?
pieces of that orb
that in a skiff.
that continue flying with the orb.
They were like flying together.
Right, almost in formation.
Yeah, wow.
Which is amazing piece of video.
How come?
And the military can't identify it.
We got HD TV. We can't have a better video than that grainy 1973 film.
That is extremely zoomed in.
Yeah,
that's why it looks like it's going so fast.
Right.
It's filmed by a guy named Sapruta.
So here is cut number 11. Here's cut number 11. U.S. Air Force veteran Dylan Borland talking about his own close encounter. Slick, you'll like this one. Cut number 11. Check this out.
And as I began walking towards the light, towards the flight line and the track, the light then flies across the base, across the flight line, and as it flies to me, a triangle manifests around the light. I can't tell you if it's active camouflage. I can't tell you if it appeared around the light, but I can tell you that it was a white light, and then there was a triangle. It stopped about 100 feet in front of me and approximately 100 feet above me. My telephone got extremely hot, completely froze, dead. I remember how thick it was. It was between 1 to 2 stories thick, equilateral triangle. I could never see the top of it, and the edges were 90 degrees. So the craft itself was this black metallic flake paint, but on top of the craft was this gold, lava, plasma, some type of fluid going over and around the craft. I'm under this for about 2 to 3 minutes, and then the center light flashes 2 to 3 times, no sound, immediately shoots up to commercial jet level minimum, in my opinion, and I immediately feel static electricity all over my body, and then I smell the smell of after a thunderstorm or lightning storm, that really strong summer thunderstorm smell.
Yeah, and that's an object he observed, and others did as well, over Langley Air Force Base in Virginia in the summer of 2021. Here is Borland. Again, it was a 15-minute, I think, all told, encounter that he had, and afterwards he was pulled aside and told he'd better keep quiet. But here he is, cut number 12. Check this out.
And do you think that, in your opinion, that the equilateral triangle was the U.S. government's technology?
I did once upon a time, but knowing what I know now, I'll have to answer that question as Skiff, probably.
Well, my next question is, you teased us, so knowing what you know now means what?
I know enough to know that if you want an answer to that question, go to Arrow. They have the answer.
Do you think it was a foreign government?
I do not, no.
Yeah.
Man,
what is Arrow?
Clammed up.
Arrow is ARO. I forget what that stands for, but it might be in here. Also, Representative Eric Burleson was involved in this hearing as well. Here is another U.S. Air Force veteran. This is Jeff Nucatelli testifying about the size of what he saw. This is cut 14, and again, this happened over Van Air Force Base by this guy. Cut 14. Check it out.
This event, now known as the Vandenberg Red Square, was referenced by Representative Luna at the first hearing on this topic. Official Air Force records of this event are in possession by Arrow and the FBI. Later that night, while I was on duty, security guards at a critical launch site reported a bright, fast-moving object over the ocean. I responded to the incident. Chaos ensued over the radio as the object approached rapidly. I heard my friends screaming, "It's coming right at us, it's coming right for us, and now it's right here." Moments later, I heard them say that it had shot off and was gone. When I arrived on scene, I talked to 5 shaken witnesses who described a massive triangular craft larger than a football field that hovered silently for about 45 seconds over their entry control point before shooting away at impossible speed.
Yeah, I believe ARROW stands for Army Research Office.
Wow.
So if you're looking for that, here is also, and again, this is all under oath at the hearing. This is George Knapp. He's a longtime UFO journalist with his statement about what he knows. Cut number 13. Check this out.
You know, the public has been told over and over since the late 40s, there's nothing to worry about here. These mysterious craft seen by millions of people in the skies, in the oceans, over the land are not real. They're not a threat. The witnesses are wrong. They're crackpots. Don't believe it. That changed for me. What got me hooked is the paper trail. Documents that were squeezed out of the U.S. government after the FOIA, Freedom of Information Act, became the law of the land. And those documents paint a much different picture than what the public, the press, and Congress have been told over many years. The documents from military and intelligence personnel behind closed doors admit that, quote, these things are real. They're not fictitious. They can fly in formation. They're evasive, and they outperform any aircraft known to exist, including ours.
Yeah, so there you have it. Again, George Knapp, he's a longtime UFO journalist who actually got into this because he wanted to debunk it and hasn't been able to, and is now
I thought it was Rip Van Winkle. I didn't know what it was.
Chasing the government around for information on these things. And the last clip I've got, Paul saw it a lot. I saw it a lot. He was also in the committee hearing, talking about Representative out of Tennessee, Republican Tim Burchett, and he's also had some. He's been chasing this stuff as well.
He's a quote machine.
Yeah, he is. But listen to what he says as he's being questioned after he leaves the committee hearing. Cut number 9. Check this out.
What if these are entities that are here on this earth, that have been on this earth, that who knows how long, and that we think they're coming in from way out. Maybe they did millennia ago, but they're here, and they're in these deep water areas. And that's why, like we say, we know more about the face of the moon than we do what's going on there. And we haven't